All right, we are back again for another lovely session of our Red Skies. For those of you who have just joined us, it's session 41. You know, lots of sessions. 41 sessions, an average of about 3 hours a session. That's like 120 hours or so.
Good.
Isn't that crazy?
Is it?
Let's start off with somebody describing what happened last time. Someone? Anyone?
We rolled into what's his name? Martin Sklar's estate. Things were on fire and guards were going were setting things on fire and killing people, so we decided to intervene and we killed the guards, saved some people, saved some stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's about what happened. We left it there.
Yep. All right. So, yeah, you guys made it to the plantation and noticed that it was on fire, or at least portions were, and the guards were basically attacking people as you approached. And you took care of that in your best possible adventurer ways that you can. So, let's bring back up our lovely map. The mansion is still on fire. The hunting lodge is still on fire. The windmill thing here, which unfortunately I didn't make a windmill, is also still on fire. So things are still burning, but the carriage house fire is under control and they're slowly getting it out. And the fires that were burning on the small little kind of farming village down here are also all out at this point. So
Gotcha.
question becomes, what do you guys want to do now? So some of you are still up here at the burning, collapsed and still burning hunting lodge. A couple people are down here trying to help them with the fire that's going on here. And there's a couple people here that were doing stuff with the mansion. You can still try to do stuff with the mansion if you so desire. So we're in free form here because there's nothing here that's gonna prevent you from doing something. You just need to let me know what you want to try to do, and or what are you guys thinking?
Well, I kind of want to help put out fires up here if anybody's trying to.
Well, the place is collapsed in on itself, so
yeah, that might be
up there. Dresd'a's up there. Hylough and you guys are there. You're outside, just on the Oh, that fire just moved. Whoops, sorry. Fires are all moving. Ah! No, I have the wrong thing selected. I meant to select you guys.
It's spreading.
Yeah, you guys were on this side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Had come out that side of it. You had 6 people. Most of them they're all humans. They're all like diary. They look in various states of disarray. One is clearly the butcher, from what he's wearing, a stained kind of outfit, although it's even stained more so than just like blood and stuff like that. There's other stuff on it. There is a girl wearing a golden collar who's kind of, it's almost as if she's sort of in a slight, well, stupor's not the right word. She seems to smile at you guys a lot. She kind of stands there docilely, just kind of wondering what you guys are going to do. So yeah, that's where you guys are at. Hylough, Iylis, Praedyth, and Dresd'a. You guys are kind of up there. Rhux, who's not here, is helping them put out a fire, so we'll leave it at that. Marcus and Aaron, you guys are here still at the mansion. The mansion, you could still go back in and out and try to get stuff if you wanted to. It's on fire. No one is trying to put it out, but you could still go in and try to find things if you wanted to.
I want to start putting out fire.
Is there any way for us for Iylis and me to try to douse the fire here to save as much as possible?
Or contain it.
There's no water source. The only water source you know of is there's a well down here, there's a well over here, and there's the river.
So there's no way to. Does it look like it's going to spread to those other buildings out there?
The other buildings are somewhat farther away, but it will catch onto them. Inside of one, you can hear the nicker of horses. Inside the other, there's dogs barking.
I'm definitely going to go. I guess I'll go start trying to clear out the buildings.
All right. I mean,
Save the animals.
entering the one on the left, it's just a stables. It's got 4 horses in it. Easy enough to open the things and either let them just run or try to get halters on them or something to just take them out. The other one is a kennel of dogs. And as soon as you guys enter in it, they don't know, they're yelping and barking at you guys. Anybody that goes close to a cage gets growled at. You think it might be better part of valor to just not open those cages.
Right. Any other things I'm looking around?
You don't see any other people or anything like that.
I guess we could look for trap doors or other things like that that might hide something below.
Sure. Give me an investigation check.
Here we go.
You search around for a bit, and you're just distracted by those dogs barking and growling and stuff like that, and you don't find anything. You don't find anything.
Anybody
like
else want to help me look?
Yeah, Praedyth will look behind.
I mean, the hunting lodge you can't go and look inside of anymore. I mean, it's literally on fire. It's collapsed. Like
Right.
you're gonna have to let it burn out, and then you could potentially try to go through the rubble if you wanted to, but that may take some time.
I'm talking about the 2 buildings.
Yeah,
in
that's
front.
fine. I guess. Give me an investigation check. Looking around, you make a pretty thorough search, at least of the stables. It's the stables. I mean, you find some bridles and some saddles and a few things like that. It definitely looks like it's meant for like more of a hunting stable. So the horses are meant to, go through trails and stuff like that. So you find more gear that's oriented towards that versus horses that would be for carriages and things like that. These are definitely riding horses, not draft horses. Looking through the kennel, I mean, other than going into the places with the dogs, you don't find anything at all. And it doesn't. I mean, when you look in the places where the dogs are being held, they look not. I mean, it looks like it's meant for a dog to just be in there. I mean, there doesn't seem to be any indication that there's any kind of secret doors or anything.
All right.
Anybody else want to do something?
Well, didn't we
Start
hear
trying
that?
to put out the mansion fire.
You're gonna try to put out the mansion fire.
Well, at least not put it out. Probably won't get put out. Nah, I'll
mean-
just continue looting if I can.
All right, so you're gonna run in and loot some more. Give me another investigation check.
Okay, okay.
Huh. Yeah, you spend some time in there and you find a cape of some sort that seems kind of nice, but that's about it.
Take it. I take the cape.
All right, you take the cape and you take it out.
Yeah.
That takes you about 5 minutes of searching, and more. The fire continues to spread. Anybody else doing anything? Rhux is helping him. This fire, you guys, or at least anybody who's close by, notice that this fire here gets put out. So the carriage house is no longer on fire. The windmill here has collapsed in on itself already, so it's in a similar state as the hunting lodge is. It's kind of burning. It is starting to actually. This one is starting to spread slightly to the trees that are around it. But at this point in time, the train that was getting the carriage house under control now starts to do that, as well as some of the people who are down here in the village. They're starting to try to get this portion under control. They are currently ignoring the mansion now, maybe because they want to get some of these other things under control, or you're not sure what. So you can give me another investigation check as you go back in if you want, Aaron. And the 4 of you up there, what are you guys doing now?
Well, I have a question. Didn't we hear that Martin's Claw went to some dock or something?
You overheard very early on him saying something. One of the guards suggesting that. Yes.
So maybe we should try and go find them.
Well, you got 6 prisoners here, 6 kidnapped people
Yeah.
here. You got a bunch of fires going on. You have no idea what dock you went to.
Yeah, but I mean, I just can't think what else. Like,
I
I mean,
think we should.
yes, we got to put out the fires, but other
Maybe
than
you
that,
might want
what
to
else?
question the people who got kidnapped. Maybe you want to question the farmers and the
I know that, but I'm
stablehands.
saying I don't know why we're staying here.
Yeah, I don't know why you're up there either. I mean, that's why I'm asking. What are you guys doing up there at the hunting lodge?
I guess I'll start leading the people towards the cart or something, away from the burning building.
This was the
If you wanna
mother.
ask them
This
something,
is
go
where
ahead.
all the problems were. You know. I mean,
So
this
is that girl
you guys found
following-
stuff that you haven't looked at it. You don't really know, other than briefly looking at it. You don't know what you found.
Oh, right.
Can we
Iylis
examine
grabbed all
that
those
collar
papers. I
that
want to
the
look at
girl
those
is
papers.
wearing?
Say that again, Kat.
Can we examine the collar that girl is wearing?
Sure, you can go over and look at it if you want. Give me an investigation check. Lots of investigating going on.
is she still following me around?
Yeah, she follows you around.
But nobody else.
Well,
Nobody else is following you around. No.
No, I mean, no, she's not following anybody else. She's just following me, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody mess with my new slave here.
Dresd'a, you look at that. The thing is a golden collar. It's like a metal dog collar that is fastened in the front. It's fastened with a single bolt. But it is, you look at it pretty closely as you kind of try to, and as soon as you start paying attention to her, she kind of stops and just starts paying attention to you, kind of looking at you and standing there. She opens her mouth and her mouth looks like she's saying words, but no sound comes forth. Looking at the thing, you also notice that on either side there are 2. What did I put down? I think they're 2 very small emeralds. Yes, 2 small emeralds on it.
Can I attempt to pick the lock, or does it seem
It's
magical?
not really a lock. It's not really a lock. It's just a bolt that's through it. You could unbolt it and take it off if you want. Yeah, it's not. Doesn't.
Can I
look
do
like it's
that?
difficult. Yeah, you spend a few moments doing that and pull it off. And as soon as you pull it off, a massive change comes over this woman. She immediately backs away from you really quickly, and she starts screaming. And now a voice is being heard. Like you can hear her voice. And then she just kind of gets into a ball on the ground.
Just like, I mean you no harm. We are here to help. Are you being held captive? Do you want us to free you?
She's basically curled up in a fetal position and screaming and gently rocking.
Can I do a persuasion roll to try to calm her?
Yes, you can. As you're doing that, the butcher kind of looks over and it says, "Whoa, what the? Oh man, I've only been here for a couple days, but I don't know what they did to her." You get her to stop screaming. She's still kind of curled up. You can see every now and then she looks at you, and her eyes are still very wild. You haven't calmed her to the point where she trusts you or anything, but at least she stopped screaming.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was my servant, and she was going to be my servant, and you just messed that up.
She is nobody's servant. She is her own person.
Dadgummit.
If she wishes to come with us and be employed on our ship, we will pay her, and that is her option.
I wasn't going to work her hard or anything, but if
We
you
will
want to go get my
respect
sandwiches
her.
and stuff.
We will respect her.
Iowa.
You guys can have that conversation. Aaron, your next trip into the mansion is much more fruitful. The next trip into the mansion, you find some chainmail that looks pretty nice. You also find a you as you're going by, you missed it the first time past, but you don't know why you didn't see this the first time. You go by a display case that has a whole bunch of jewels in it. And smashing it open, you pull out, I don't know, you pull out like 15 gems total and kind of stuff them into your pockets. With the chainmail that's on a rack that you find, you also find some gauntlets that are with it, that seem to be with it, like they're next to it on the thing. And the last thing is as you're kind of hauling this stuff out, you see some very nice looking slippers by the front door.
I take those too.
All right.
Sleep in luxury.
I got
Okay.
a nice cape and nice slippers. Let's go.
Praedyth would like to take a look at the papers and everything that Iylis took from the basement.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are start
If you
looking at the
wanna-
papers.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's what I'll do.
All
as
right,
well.
so looking at the papers, and you spend a good 10, 15 minutes kind of going through them. You grabbed a whole bunch of stuff. Remember, you also had a
I
lockbox.
really did, yeah.
You also
Yeah,
brought a
and I want
lockbox
to try and get
up.
in there.
The lockbox is locked, but
What?
Not
yeah,
for
imagine
long.
that. So let me know how you might want to deal with that. But as you're looking through the papers,
Brute force.
you start looking through the papers while the screaming's happening. And the screaming finally stops, and you kind of look up briefly at that. And the butcher and the other 4 guys that are kind of around there, kind of just sitting on the ground, kind of breathing. 3 of them are, get to your papers in a second. 3 of them are definitely look worse off than the other 2 look like. Like the butcher doesn't look too bad, but like that bad off. Like he looks like he's been, he looks dirty and probably is a little hungry. But the other 3 of the other guys look pretty emaciated, like they've been starved to some extent. And the other 2 look less starved, but still like they've been there a while. Looking through the papers, give me a quick investigation roll. It's more about which thing you find first, not whether or not you find something.
Is that a perception check?
Investigation, because you're reading through the
Okay.
thing, you're searching through.
Right.
You're quickly trying to search through it quickly to see if you can find something that's interesting quickly.
Wait
Now,
for my damn 20.
so the first thing you come upon is a note that 4 bluish spheres were sold to one Tormod Amberson. You don't recognize the name or anything like that, but you recognize the four bluish spheres are probably eggs.
Yeah.
And that stops you there. And looking through that paper a little bit more, you notice that 2 were sent to Milisari, but there's no buyer name or anything like that. It's just 2 sent, 2 blue spheres Milisari. That's all it kind of says. And that seems to be the only evidence you can find of some of the eggs being sold as you're kind of going through these papers. So that's the
Pretty
first
much
thing you find.
He wants to grab these papers and stuff, or at least take Iylis with him away from the burning building to like the cart, so we can take plenty of time and just pour through these papers.
Right. So you start, Iylis, you going to be led away?
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Okay, so you guys
I
start
don't
heading
want
to the
them to burn.
carriage. Remember, it's a carriage, not a cart.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
What?
As you guys start to head off to there, the butcher starts following you guys. The butcher and the 2 guys that are the one guy, sorry, it's one extra guy. The one guy who is somewhat decent looking. Those guys start to follow you. The woman stays curled up. The one that had the golden collar on is still curled up on the ground. The other 3 guys kind of look, and they look like they just don't have the strength to really want to move with you. But they start trying to get up, and one of them falls down a couple times before he's finally able to get standing, doddering on his feet again. And they start to move with you guys. Dresd'a, what are you doing with the girl? And yes, John, I know you're there. I'll get to Marcus in a second. Dresd'a.
I was just on my way to the bathroom. All right.
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I'm trying to give you your time to shine, girl.
I know. So I'm doing something with the girl.
Yeah, what are you trying to do with her? I mean, she's no longer screaming. You want to try to...
Yeah, I want to talk to her. What's your name? Find out if she might be one of these kidnapped people. Is there something we can do to help her? Just everything to let her know that we're her friends and her allies, and we're not here to hurt her.
You would think with all the preparation I did today that I would give the girl a name, and I did not.
We'll call her little sister.
No, I've got her something. I will quickly come up with something. But you would think I prepared a lot today, and I still forgot to give this girl a name. She calms down. She's rocking herself a bit, and eventually you hear very faintly, Ariana.
Grande.
No.
Ariana, how did you come to be here?
I don't. You can see her visibly trying to calm herself down now. She's taking some deep breaths, and she, after a moment, she kind of sighs a little bit. Give me a quick insight check, Dresd'a. Something about this, something about what she's doing, kind of tugs at your head a little bit. You don't have a good insight, do you?
I do not.
It seems something like you would do sort of before you'd start to go bind with the spirit. Like she's almost trying to center herself or something.
Maybe a religion check?
No, because it's. I mean, this isn't really a religion thing. She kind of does that for a minute, and then she says, "I was at one of the inns in the city. Oh, what day is it?
Tuesday.
It's not Tuesday. It's the second day of the Festival of Blossoms." And when you say that, she's like, well, then I guess it would be almost a month ago now.
Wow.
I was probably a little bit not paying too much attention. I drank a little too much. I think that either that or somebody drugged me. I'm not sure which.
Okay, so that's the last thing you remember?
Well, the next thing I remember was being in a 10 by 10 foot bricked up room with just a single grate at the top, and I could hear some people talking outside, and I could hear the lapping of waves. So I was near water somewhere, but I'm not sure where.
And do you remember how you got here to the lodge, or
well,
I'm trying to determine if the collar like suppressed memories.
Oh, the collar. Get that thing away from me. We'll get to that in a second. No, and she doesn't even say we'll get to that in a second. That collar, destroy it. It's
Okay.
evil.
Okay. Can we
I'll
melt
destroy it.
gold?
What was that? I
Can
know
we
what you
melt
said,
it?
Kat. What did
Oh.
Hylough say?
I said, don't destroy it. We'll sell it some.
Or we could use it.
She says, I don't know who or what created that thing, but when it was around my neck, all I wanted to do was please people. And I wasn't allowed to speak, which made it very difficult for me to escape. I don't. And that's she stops for a bit at that point. Marcus and Aaron, you guys are still kind of over by the mansion.
So I just want to off to the side, maybe tell her, yes, destroy it. Maybe we can melt it down for gold, but maybe go off to the side with Hylough or something. This could be useful. Maybe we can hide this and use it later on, like when we're our guys that we capture and the pirate people that are after us kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm going to stick it in a bag or something, or pocket somewhere, whatever I can put it.
I toss it off to him, and there we go. All right, thank you.
All right, Marcus and Aaron, what are you guys doing it during this time?
Hey man, I'm still getting quality loot from this. Place.
So you run inside again. It's now like the fire is starting to engulf almost the whole thing. You figure this is your last trip in. Give me another investigation check. Run around. You don't find anything else. You kind of run around through there. Nothing that really just captures your eye or anything like that. And ceilings are starting to collapse in areas as you're kind of going through. So, also give me a Constitution check.
Okay. Oops. There we go.
All right, that's enough. You inhale some smoke, and you get out and you're coughing pretty heavily, but not detrimentally so. Praedyth and Iylis, you guys head over towards the carriage with your makeshift kidnapped in tow.
And Marcus was going to take the carriage over to that family.
Which
and
family?
load them up. The ones in
Oh,
the
yeah.
south.
All right.
Picked up an
Well,
entourage.
all right. So Praedyth, you guys move over and you get close to the carriage house. I'll put it that way. You're not all the way to the carriage yet. Looking through the pages of notes and things that you got, you do figure out a few more things. First of all, what Iylis seems to have, Iylis and Hylough seem to have gotten, is part of a ledger, and the ledger is numbered pages, and the page numbers that the largest number of pages that you have that you currently have of the things is 75. So 75, at least 75 pages of something. And as you're looking through it, you realize it's a ledger of sales. And most of the pages have anywhere between 25 and 30 sales on it, something like that. Not always that many, sometimes less, sometimes more. And you have maybe a dozen pages. So your guess is that they've sold a lot of stuff. Now, not all of it is people, but some of it is. Some of it's like I told you, the eggs. Some of it is similar kinds of things. Some of it talks about something called felon. Sorry. Another thing called sharp sugar. Something called sundrop. You can try to give me an intelligence check.
3. All right, intelligent. Okay.
But your guesstimation at this point in time is that somewhere between maybe 200 to maybe 500 people, depending on how many pages there really are, have been sold through this place. So the only thing that of those names, you remember Falan, because Falan was the drug that Dresd'a and Rhux fought about.
That I wanted?
Oh, okay.
No, that was a different drug that you wanted, Iylis.
Oh.
Can I Ray's gonna keep looking at these things, trying to kind of gonna try and see if he can recognize and figure out any of the other things that were sold, and he's also gonna try and cross-reference and see if he can figure out any repeat customers, and see if he can figure out any actual names of customers.
Well, I mean, you see Tormod a couple times in there, but not a lot. Most of the names are just they're just a variety of names of varying people. You don't recognize any of them on there. There are definitely a lot of entries that literally have no name, just basically a place to where it went to. So places like Milisari, Emerdal, Kaer Morgale is even on that list.
What?
Does it look like they ship to one specific place a lot, or just all over?
No, it's kind of all over. Calastria does come up a lot more. And usually if there's a name, there's not a place. And if there's a place, there's not a name. So it's really hard to say, hey, this person is in this place. It's like they were purposefully obfuscating some parts of things so that it wouldn't be, it couldn't be exactly discovered.
Right.
But it does, of the places, Calastria comes up more often than other places. Now, that sort of stands to reason because Calastria does allow slavery.
Right. Bright's going to keep looking, and he's going to wait until the hunting lodge burns down and see if he can get back into the basement.
Well, I mean, that thing's probably going to burn all day.
Oh, really?
It's collapsed, but it's going to burn for a while.
Well, did the I guess I'm asking Iylis more than you, in character rather.
Mm-hmm.
What did the basement look like? What was it made out of? Was it just
stone.
kind of dug out?
Seemed like a nice basement, right?
Yeah,
if you're dungeon type
into
basement.
Dungeons, yeah,
it's a dungeon type basement. Like it seemed to be housing.
It's a fixer upper, mother-in-law basement.
Yeah.
How thick did you estimate the floors might have been? Was it thick stone ceiling?
It seemed like it was a pretty thick stone. Like it's probably designed to keep noise out.
Did any fire start coming down while you were getting out?
Not really. Did it?
We heard noises of things collapsing above, but we didn't.
You were
I don't think
busy
anything
trying
came
to
through.
escape, so you're not really sure.
Yeah. I can't really
I was just trying to
remember.
figure out if the basement's going to get burned out, or he could go back in and find the rest of the
Well,
ledgers and things.
Well, he's not
That's
going
what I
back
wanted to
in
do. I
until-
wanted to wait till everything was, and then
Yeah.
go back in if we could.
We got to wait for like the whole day, he said, for it to burn down.
What else we got to do?
I'm not saying we have to go nowhere. I'm just saying we'll have to be waiting for a while. So like, there's probably stuff we can do in the meantime. Because in the meantime, Praedyth's still going to keep looking
All
through
right,
the
so
papers
you keep
that he
on
has
looking
and
through the
everything.
papers you have, and you have a decent number. You've probably, like I said, about a dozen, maybe 20. It takes you a little while, but eventually a name pops up on there that you do recognize. One Rivold Moravan has been sent to a Tormod Amberson.
Isn't that the son we need to find?
Moravan
Yeah.
definitely sounds familiar, yeah.
The Moravan's son is missing. That was my next thing, was to ask if any of these people are Moravan's son.
Well, it looks like Morven's son has been sold to this Torbond guy. So we're going to have to figure out whoever Torbond is to find the son. But there, you said Torbond was a name, a repeat name, right?
Yeah. It's only a few times. Like, it's a repeat name, but not only a few times.
How do you spell that?
Tormod, Tormod. Ambersan.
Okay.
Ambersan. Ambarsan. Well, Amberson. So, really.
Okay, good.
Unfortunately, because Andy could not make it tonight, I will give you the following, which is when you say that name out loud, Rhux kind of looks at you funny for a moment before saying, I've heard that name before.
Where?
When I was a slave. In Calestria.
Okay. How did you hear about him? Was he just a big slave owner? What's the deal?
Let's see what his intellectual prowess responds with. I gotta see what his intelligence modifier
I
is.
don't know how great his intelligence.
Well, that is an
was.
Andy roll, so
Yeah.
8 plus 0. He says, I don't know. I just remember hearing the name in Calastria.
Well, at least it's something to go on.
Not a local guy. That's too bad.
Looks like we're heading to Calastria soon, boys. And girls.
Oh no.
Well, that is if we want to.
Another name that does show up quite a bit, that shows up on par or a little bit more than Tormod, is Kerr. And you remember
Is
Kerr
Kerr-
from the letters.
Right. Knew it sounded like. So I want to also go back through like the letters. Do we have like a little ledger as well? I can't remember exactly what we
No.
had from before.
You had a ledger from the salvage guy,
Right. Okay.
which is in
Well,
code.
he's gonna. The salvage guy is associated with this place, right?
He sold stuff to Sklar. You're not sure he's associated with this place. There's a difference.
Yeah.
He's associated insofar as you've connected him to two things. One, the eggs. Two, the fisherman and his daughter.
Right.
Those are the
So
only two
Praedyth's
things you've
gonna-
connected to.
Gonna pull out those old letters and try and just cross-reference anything that could help him find specific people or any other clues as to where people might be.
Well, the old
And he
letters were
also might-
literally just from Kerr talking about, just the bumper crop that that Sklar has been sending
right.
around and things like that. There was no real names with it at all.
Yeah.
Other
I
than there
forgot.
was one saying, "Hey, get some stuff ready. I have a pretty important person from Milisare coming soon." That was another letter
Was that from Kerr or from?
from Kerr to Sklar.
Okay, and that was how long ago did he send that letter?
I don't remember. Maybe a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Dresd'a, the girl, Ariana, sits up. She doesn't say grande. And I know you said it, even though you were muted. And she kind of sits there for a little bit and she says, "How did you find us?"
Well, we weren't really looking for you. We just happened.
Huh.
We were actually, we came here because we were looking for the other dude, right?
Bad guy.
You were here
Yeah.
because of Sklar, but and
Yeah.
you were trying to find eggs.
We,
You were here to
we
find
were
eggs.
just, yeah.
We were searching for stolen eggs.
She gets up and starts walking with you towards away from the fire.
Yeah. Looking for some stolen eggs. You didn't happen to see anything like that while you were here, did you?
She says, no, and then she speaks a word and makes a gesture and touches you. Give me a wisdom saving throw, I want to say.
Oh, shit.
Let me make
What'd
sure.
she do to you?
Let me make sure. Wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. Suddenly you feel really, really like this is a good friend that you really want to help her.
I do. You didn't have to do that.
I know
I
she
really
didn't-
did.
Well, in an hour you'll realize you've been charmed, but for now you don't realize it.
I don't care either way.
She says, I need to get to Emerdal as quickly as possible. Can you help me? Your
Absolutely.
answer is yeah.
No, it's absolutely.
Fair enough.
So what do we need to do to help you?
Well, see, like I said, I think I was dumb and drank a little too much, or else somebody got wind of something. I'm on the run.
Oh. Well, yeah, well, we kind of are too, you know. We have that in common. We try to do good,
I was
but
discovered.
oh,
Discovered as a magical practitioner in the Kingdom of Seer.
oh. You want to join our crew?
You have a crew? You have a ship?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, we should get there right now then, so we can get going.
All right, let me get the others and let them know.
No, we don't need them. Let's just go.
Oh, but I don't know how to sail the ship without them.
Do you not have other crew member? You clearly don't. These are not.
I'm
She drops the spell, and you realize you've been charmed.
okay.
Because that didn't work out for her.
Before she drops the spell, I will have slipped. No, I'm not the captain. So and so, what's his name? Knows the navigator guy, captain who knows how to drive the ship.
The navigator guy captain.
I don't know who the navigator guy captain is, but okay.
Well, was it Robert or Andy that drove the ship?
Well, it was
yes, at some point, both of them have tried.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Praedyth has as well.
Yeah, many people have.
Yeah, I'll tell her that. You know, Praedyth and is it Iylis?
Yeah.
Iylis, yeah.
Yeah, Praedyth and Iylis. They're
I
the
drove
ones
the boat.
who know how to drive they know how to drive the boat. Let me tell you.
And then she kind of is like, all right, so guess I will have to trust.
Let's go
in this
find them.
group." And as you start to walk off, I think she can drop the spell. I'm pretty sure she can,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I don't know if it's concentration. That's the question.
Yeah. I just kind of shake my head.
No, actually, you're charmed for the duration.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't drop it.
Interesting.
Once you're charmed for an hour. So unless she hits you, you don't get another saving throw. So yeah, you're still her friend. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that was the case. You move quicker because you're like, oh, I want to help her get out of here as quickly as possible, and she slows down, but she still follows. Back at the mansion. What are the rest of you guys doing? Aaron, at this point, you've got
valuables.
you got a small cache of stuff, which is a bunch of art objects, some chainmail, 15 gems, a cape, some gauntlets, and slippers. got a bunch of
and
stuff.
securing my stash.
So do I
Nobody's
see
allowed
this
to have
stuff?
it.
I assume while he's
It
piling it
doesn't
up.
make anything. You don't get to have it. It's mine. I found it. It's all mine.
Jesus.
Finders,
This is
keepers.
the greed people.
If do I see it? Are you piling it up? I assume since you can't carry all that stuff.
Gonna put it in the carriage. Then somebody took it.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
okay, so yeah, put that stuff in the carriage. We'll divvy it up later.
In the carriage. Divvy it up.
Well, here. You get first choice, of course. Like, I mean, you went in there and risk your
I
life.
get the only choice.
Mm. we can discuss that
I choose everything.
as a team.
I went in there. I got it. If I make money off of this stuff,
At
I'll
the
let you
same
have some.
time, Iylis, what are you doing to open up that box?
Trying to pry it open with my dagger and
All
stuff.
right, give
I
me a
guess.
strength check.
I yell over. You might want to check for traps.
It's too late.
What?
He's already prying it open. Give me a strength check. You kind of get the dagger in there, and then you twist the dagger, and you poof, you break you pop the lock, and it pops open and spills out a whole bunch of gold and platinum coins.
Nice.
Grab all those. Grab as many as I
a
can.
whole bunch. Like
Oh, okay,
a lot.
Well, let me put them back in the thing. And then, like, I don't know, tape it closed or whatever. And then I guess
Tape
I'll
it
let everybody.
closed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then,
All right.
well, I'll try and stick it back in there as securely as possible, so it doesn't spill everywhere in my bag.
Okay.
And let some people know, hey, I got some extra cash.
What else you guys doing? The floor is yours.
So
Okay,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
drive the carriage up and start collecting people. We get the family.
You're gonna start collecting people. You're gonna get the family. So the woman is still unconscious. Her kids don't want to get in the carriage with you, not because they don't. I mean, you did help them, but
Well, I'm gonna put her in first.
They
So we
told
can
her
tell
to
her
go
to
to
go
the
to
I mean,
town.
carriage.
yeah,
with a stranger.
they're like, no, where are you taking mom?
You're going
They
with her
start
back to
crying.
town. It's not here to hurt you.
At that
We're
point,
here
a few
to
of
save
the,
you.
A few of the farmers from below were like, where are you taking
They live there.
Leon? Why are you taking her from her home?
Does she not need medical? Does she not need a doctor? Is there a doctor here? She's still unconscious.
We have some. We can help. Well, I mean, Rhux actually healed her, so she's
know.
unconscious, but she's not gonna die.
But they may not know that.
And
Well, if
Martin,
we need the herbalist woman, we will send for her. We don't need to go all the way to the city for something of this nature.
So,
So in
what?
other words,
Since you have such,
touch her. Leave her alone.
since
Okay.
you have everything under control, what happened to her?
Well, they don't have. I mean, there is still a
I know.
big, huge windmill, and
I
the
know
mansion is.
that's kind of my sarcastic part of it.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm just saying. And he kind of glances at you for a moment, as if judging whether or not to even deign to answer your question. Before he says, "What do you mean?"
Well, it's obvious this isn't natural. This is like an army came here. They were slaughtering people when we came. We helped fight the guards.
You mean that the guardsmen, the master's guardsmen attacked us? Yes.
Why?
And we were trying to fight them off, and we are very appreciative that you arrived. But that doesn't mean you should take our people.
We're trying to help you people. Your person can stay here as long as she gets attention. We're trying to find answers about the master.
Master Sklar, what he wants us to wanted us to call him. Delusions of grandeur, something of that nature. I don't know exactly what happened. All I know is that we were minding our business, getting ready to go out and tend to the fields, when several of his guards came down and started attacking us and lighting our buildings on fire. I mean,
one of the
if they're his, but we work the fields for him. Why would he attack us?
because he is fleeing the city. He is fleeing the area. One of the guards said that he was going to the port to flee. The watch in the city is going to arrest him for charges of slavery and other things. That's part of the reason we're here. Insight to see if I think he knows anything.
Yeah, go ahead.
Crappy insight.
Sorry.
That's all right. Hey, not bad.
He looks confused, but confused in the sense that like more about confused by what you're saying. Like what you're saying is the people are coming to get, to it's that sort of more confusion. I mean, you get the feeling you know something, but
right. Allow me to. I apologize. It has been
he's just
quite an event.
You're doing fine. He's just he seems a little confused.
No, I mean that's what I'm trying to.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to tell him that, calm things down.
Okay.
We're from the city. We work with the guard. There have been charges against him. We were coming out to get him, and that is why we're here. This is his carriage. His
that I do recognize. It is his carriage. Yes.
The guards occupied his villa in town. They're searching it high and low to find evidence of this. We found evidence of just many illegal activities, including practicing the dark arts.
Wow.
And do you know anything of we came here?
Notice a sort of a kind of moment with him, where he's like, "Oh, now this makes so much more sense. The late night deliveries, the supplies that are as if we have another 50 people living here."
Yes, we believe he was in human trafficking. We have rescued people from his warehouse on such
explain why
street.
He wanted us to call him master. Technically, the people who live in the small village and work his farms are paying off a debt to him. So while not slaves,
sort of an indentured servant to
sort of
situation.
But not exactly the same, but sort of.
Okay.
Like no one's going to come back and try to take these people back to here if they run away.
Right. Okay.
They are honorable enough that they want to work off their. Plus, this is a place where they can live and they're getting food and stuff like that. So it's more of a mutual kind of thing.
Well, my associate's a believer at the hunting lodge. Is there? You say there are deliveries and.
Well, there were some late night deliveries done by the river. I mean, one of the farmer's wives. She had noticed it one night when she couldn't sleep, and was taking a walk.
And someone, once things are calmed down, show us where.
Oh, just at the thing.
Just at the edge.
Yeah, I mean, literally where the road goes across.
Okay, where the ferry is.
Yeah, where the docks are. I mean, that's literally. It's like. Yeah, just there. I mean, these are very late nights, like past midnight.
Well, I suspect he was trying to remove any witnesses to anything you may or may not have seen.
I suspect you are right.
Luckily,
you guys were here when you were.
Well, the fates are kind sometimes. Not always, but sometimes.
At this point, Iylis, Praedyth, and the straggling kidnappees show up or come around the thing and start walking towards the carriage. And you notice them as well. Similarly, Dresd'a and the other one has finally started to catch up. Because Dresd'a's going real fast because she really wants to help this girl pretty badly.
So these, I'm assuming, are some of the.
One of them is very clear as a butcher.
We found some people.
The butcher?
Yeah, well, butcher among others.
These are some of what you're. What he was involved with.
He kind of looks at it and is like, yeah, I haven't seen these people before at all, but maybe Yeah.
Where did you
Late
find
night
them?
delivery.
They were in the basement of the hunting lodge.
The hunting lodge has a basement?
Well, apparently.
Hmm.
Can I do an insight on him?
Sure. Everybody wants to
Ability.
insight this guy.
Yeah.
He seems honestly surprised that there was a basement in the hunting lodge.
Can't
He's
roll for
like,
nothing.
I guess because I've never been to the hunting lodge, I guess I just assumed it didn't have one.
Yeah,
Or if it did, it was just a root cellar of some sort.
no, it's pretty expansive underground dungeon type shenanigans.
Oh. At this point, the stable hands and stuff, which have controlled the one fire, have started to start moving on to the mansion, and they start doing some stuff with it. But part of the one wing just collapses in on itself, and at a certain point, they're pretty much like, "Yeah, screw it. This is this is a lost cause." What do you want? Yeah, continue, you guys.
So you all live here, so no one wants to come back. We would like some. Has anyone witnessed anything, or can you tell us anything more? Maybe where he would have gone if he said the docks. Where do his ships normally sail out of? Is it?
We don't know anything about that. We just work the fields, unfortunately. Or fortunately.
Is there anyone else?
I mean, there's a whole bunch of guards,
bookkeeper,
you guys, cut up
or
and stuff, but maybe some of them are still not dead.
Yeah, that's. I'm gonna start looking for the guards and try to find some that aren't dead on that one. They would know more, so I'm gonna try to.
Yeah, these guys
do some medicine checks.
Like they seem like legit that they've basically just been. They're farmers. They farm for Sklar.
Right, the surf wouldn't know.
Yeah, and don't really seem like they've seen some odd things. That's sort of what they've just implied to you. They've seen some odd things, but nothing that they would have said, "Oh, totally, this is slave running" or anything like that. Just they've seen some odd things.
Well, and it'd be better not to ask questions. I mean, that's obvious that someone who's being called master does not tend to look fondly upon people who question him.
Yep.
So,
especially when they owe him money.
Yes. So yeah, I will go and start trying to find some guards that are still alive.
So most of the guards are dead, but you are able to find 3 that are unconscious and still alive, but unconscious.
I'll do some medicine checks on them, try to keep them alive.
Away, but he's long gone. So
yeah, I'll do medicine checks to try to keep them alive.
All right. Guys, give me a medicine check. While Marcus is doing that, anybody else doing anything else?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the horses and put bridles on them or whatever, so I can lead them, or whatever we can do to. I want to ride. I want people to be able to ride these if they need to get back to town, and we can sell them when we get there. If they're not excitable, we can put anybody on these things.
They're riding horses. So, Marcus, you stabilize 2 of the 3. The third one dies as you're attempting to apply, things to help him.
Right.
So you have 2 guards that are currently unconscious and stable.
Yeah, tie them up. And put them beside the wagon, not in the wagon.
That's right. Carriage, but yes.
Yeah, carriage. I don't know why wagon.
It's
carriage.
all good. It's all good. I'm just teasing you.
Yeah, no, I got it. So what else did we find? We found all of this, pointing out the armor and everything that's in the carriage.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys find anything?
Found a bunch of money, and also just some more papers that mildly implicate him.
Any of the eggs?
Mildly?
Any evidence of any evidence of what's going on with the eggs? Or
I mean, we did find a couple of bits that say that it was sold to where?
4 went to Tormod Amberson, and 2 went to Milisari. 2 Milisari is a city, but the buyer was unnamed.
And you say Tormod Anderson out loud?
Amberson.
Yes.
Yeah, Amberson. I want to look and see if anybody has a reaction on that. They probably don't, but
nobody has a reaction.
Okay. Just making sure.
Anyway. These guys literally mostly work the field. They're very rarely even up this far. The only reason why they're up here now is because of the fire. Yeah, they very rarely are up this way.
Yeah. Okay, so
They haven't even mentioned the more important thing yet to you, but that's okay.
Well, I'll ask him what's the more important thing you haven't mentioned.
Hey, quit metagaming.
I know.
You've
At that point, Dresd'a and her and the woman show up or arrive here. Dresd'a, go for it.
Hey guys, look, we've really got to help Ariana out here, man. She really needs to get to. Where was she going?
And he turned to her and say, "Where are you going?" She kind of says,
Where are you going again?
Emerdal. I need to get to Emerdal.
Emerdal. She needs to get to Emerdal. I mean, really quick. And hey, I bring them aside, look around, make sure nobody's within hearing distance, and
There's
whisper.
There's a few farmers here, but
Like whisper really low, like she's a magic user. We could probably use her, guys. She's an outcast like us. And then,
what is her reaction to this?
You really got to help.
Saying this. What's Ariana like? Is she steaming it like I charmed the wrong person?
Give me a performance roll, Dresd'a. See if you're really quiet or not.
Intelligence is not my forte.
You're quiet enough. Bad. Yeah, you're quiet enough. She doesn't necessarily notice that you have mentioned that to somebody.
Ariana will be going back to town shortly, and you can find a ride, or as we do have a ship, but we're not planning on leaving.
Yeah, man, no, we've got to go. We've got to take her, and we've got to do it quick before
we are short a crew and a number of other things. So, but we can discuss that.
Later. Ariana kind of taps gently holds onto your arm, Dresd'a, and says, "It's okay if it takes a little longer. I mean, as long as I'm with a group that I can trust. I can trust you, right?"
You can trust me 150%. I'm with you, girl.
Okay.
Are you all right, Dresd'a? Something fall on your head? You're acting very friendly. That's not really like you.
What do you mean?
Can I do like an insight on Dresd'a?
Sure, if you want.
What are you talking about?
Well, normally a little quieter than this.
I don't know.
Yeah, Dresd'a seems. Maybe it's just the adrenaline after battle adrenaline rush. Maybe
He just seems excited to me. I don't know what you're talking
about. So what? Let's move away from the farmers, and if we can, we'll go back to the city. If you think of anything,
the farmers are like, well, I don't know what we're going to do now. I guess we'll farm, but you say he's going to be arrested. Is that correct?
I would imagine that would be the least punishment he would face.
I wonder if that means
if we get a hold of him, he's toast.
All right. Well, make sure to mention our debts and things. I mean, we'll continue to farm if we need to, but
is there a sheriff or who's the law here? I mean, you might want to discuss the local.
Is there a record of your debts, like sort of ledger?
Technically, the law is the lord here, or the plantation owner. So,
right.
Did he keep a record of your debts?
I mean,
well, there is a record of the debts filed with the city, but I mean, we haven't paid it off. So,
if someone wants to come back to town with us and talk to the guard captain. That's as far up as
we will send a representative with you then.
Lieutenant Sinan. And at the so and so guard has knowledge of this event and might be able to help you, or the other guy. I got to find him on notes.
Sev.
Yeah, Sev. Sev is a little more hands-on with it. He might be able to help you out a little more.
All right.
You asked me, if it were up to me, I'd just give you this place. You would just own it, and you could farm and live here you want. But I'm not. You got to follow whatever laws. But
unfortunately, I don't know what the law is in this particular situation. So we will send one of our own with you when you head back.
Does he have any relatives? Or I would imagine it would go to his nearest relative son, daughter.
We do not know. He does not have
uncles.
any children. I know that, and he's not married.
Well, perhaps it'll be auctioned off. I don't know. I'm sorry.
We'll see. I'll send someone with you. Just let us know when you're going to leave.
Of course.
We need to go clean up some of the places that did get burned. And so they turn around and start it. And they look at the mansion that's kind of collapsing more and more. It's kind of falling in, and they turn around and start heading towards the village down here.
Boom, boom, boom.
The village is really not the right word. The hamlet.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty sizable. It's like literally a old school southern plantation / town.
Yeah.
I guess plantation.
Yep.
They have
like
all their self-contained.
Yep.
So,
what are you guys doing?
Do we want to round up the bodies of the people? Do we want to any weapons? Anything? What else do we need here? It's probably burning the rest of the day.
So here's a suggestion: are we nice enough folk that maybe some of those coins we found give to the farmers to help pay off their debts, or no?
Nah.
Okay, well, it's just a suggestion.
What coins?
Okay.
No, what coins?
No, I found a whole.
You mentioned you
full of
found some coins.
Yeah, I have this like some platinum and gold in here. It's a pretty sizable amount.
Oh, well,
Probably pay off some debts or hire some crew.
it's rewards
Either
for doing
or.
your civic duty.
Yeah.
We could use the debts that they owe to buy their indentured servitude and have them work it off on
to
our
the
ship.
villagers? or
Why?
the one lady?
Yeah. Why don't we wait and let the guardsmen figure out what's going on? Because that's not really. I mean, we're sailors and merchants and adventurers. That's not really our...
that's why I'm saying we could pay off their debts, and in return for that, they could come work on our crew. We could give them like a reduced wage, part of it to work off the debt, part of it,
They're
what I'm saying?
farmers.
They're not.
Do we really?
Yeah, it's a
farmers as
possibility,
a
but we
crew?
could also pay sailors who we don't have to train.
I
Similar.
thought you had something about everybody deserves respect and nobody's going to be a slave or something like that. I don't know.
That's why I said we give them a low wage. Part of their wages.
Regardless, we can
They work
discuss.
off their debt. Yes.
Yeah.
We can discuss this later. But right now, how long do we want to stay here? Do we want to scrounge any weapons? Do we want to wait until it burns? I mean, do we have any other leads? Time sensitive? Do we think we can track these eggs down, or even track him down to the docks? I mean, he left. I guess today.
They said port. They didn't say docks.
Okay, sorry, port. Yeah, so, and the only port, where's the island map? I can get to it.
Yes, you can.
And the city's the biggest.
City's the biggest port, but I mean, you guys were at a port on T-Rex Landing. There might be other ports on the island as well.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask one of the farmers, where do the shipments go out to? Does it all go to?
You kind of asked that already, and
I kind of thought, I kind of did. They said they didn't know.
They didn't know. They just load up the stuff and it gets sent to wherever. They don't. They don't.
So we need to find someone who would know. And we see the largest port, but there are a couple. There's one across the way. That's a little village directly. Was that west?
Yes. No, east. East. You're on the western
east.
side,
Sorry, east. Yeah, okay. I'm looking at his road here. Do we have any maps? Were there any maps we found?
Nope.
Well, I wouldn't think he would go back. We need to find either another port quickly, or he'll be gone. And it's a high probability we're not going to catch him anyway, but we should make the attempt, you think?
We'll
I don't
catch
think
up
so.
with them
I think-
eventually.
We should try to catch up with him where he's at. I don't know. I don't think
Yeah.
we should.
We should take care of things here before.
What else do we have to do here? The farmers have this. They're
I
going
have
to put
an
out the fire.
estimation of where he's probably going to head.
Yeah, I mean, you still have two guards that are currently unconscious that you
Yeah.
can ask questions of.
True.
Just from
we can wake
just
him
from
up.
reading through
Yeah.
his ledger and knowing, local
Well, we can toss
customs
them in
names,
the
he's
carriage and
probably going to
hide 'em up.
head.
We can
Calastria.
question him now. Hang on. What were you saying, Brian?
Based on the reading his ledger book and knowing the local customs of Calastria, that's probably where he's going to flee to. I also imagine that this Tormund fellow is going to be over there as well, and he'll probably seek asylum with him.
Well,
Where is that?
We could load the guards up in
Calastria, we
the
don't know where
carriage
Tormund is, but
and question them on the way.
specifically, yeah. That's what
Well,
I'm
we
saying.
definitely, yeah, we could question on the way. Are we ready to go now? That's my question. Do we want to go as right now, go back to the town, or where we think he might be, question the guards? If it's nearby, go there. Otherwise, go to the town and let them know what happened. Or do we want to spend more time here and keep investigating here, but we lose him?
Well,
Any chance of finding him?
preferably for me, I'd like to get back into that basement. But if we gotta leave, I guess.
Get back into what?
Basement.
The basement.
Oh, yeah.
Is the building going to be intact? I mean, it's not going to fall
You're
in
not
on
sure.
itself.
You're not sure.
We don't know.
We don't know yet. I don't know how well the basement is.
But there's a
So,
lot of stuff down there that could be of use.
Yeah,
if-
some very potentially.
but you're talking several days. From my knowledge, how long when a fire's at a castle or a stone
Well, it's
building?
not a castle. It's not a stone. The
It's
war,
not stone?
No, it's not stone. The hunting lodge was wood. Most of these buildings are wood. They usually have a stone foundation, but that's about it.
So
You're not sure, but I mean, assuming it does. Well, give me an intelligence check. We'll see what your thoughts are on this. See
oh, good.
how intellectually you might be towards this. Not too bad. Usually a building of this size is going to have some large timbers and things in that for beams holding up the roof and stuff like that. Those things collapsing, which I've done in these cases of both the mansion and the hunting lodge, pretty powerful thing to happen. Especially if they have, and it's going to take them a while to burn. You figure, assuming, this is a typical like ash kind of wood building or something like that, or something of that nature. It'll probably burn the rest of the day. Probably will not be done until tomorrow morning. Quite fine.
And it'll be too hot for us to mess with.
Yeah,
and we
it's
have
too
to dig
much,
it
and then you're gonna
out.
have to dig it out. So,
I mean, you're talking at least 2 to 3 days, and we've got a ship, and people be looking for us. And I mean, I don't think we have that much time.
here one of the,
I mean,
one of the guards is like,
Okay, so yeah, let's wake him up.
well, he's awake. He's waking.
Yeah, I'm
himself
sorry.
up.
Let's.
he's like trying to move his butt. He's like, what? And then he kind of remembers what happened.
You're waking up in time for the us to take you back for the hangman's noose. Excellent. Unless you could help us find out where your leader went, the master.
He went to the port. I don't know which one, but he has multiple places that he goes to.
What ports does he go to?
I have to look up the city names. Give me a second.
Okay.
I just have to look it up. I don't remember my city names. In fact, I don't even have him there. Where did I say he was going to? By this time he left. He says he left earlier this morning. Not too much after dawn. He just believe he's going to, and I really have to look it up because I don't have the.
After he
names in
gave the
my-
order to slaughter everyone.
He told us to take care of the loose ends. That is what he did.
So, what loose ends did you think you were taking care of? Enlighten us.
He doesn't say anything. Mostly because I'm trying to find my picture, so I can give you a name.
Okay, we'll stop for a second.
That's all. Because I don't have names on this map, but I do have it on the actual map.
Can anybody see if any of this stuff's magical? I could do an identify spell while we wait.
Well, you're not. It doesn't take him 10 minutes to give you the name.
Okay.
I have to look it up because I don't know what it is.
Oh, that's
off
right.
the
I
top of
have
my
used
head.
all my spells. Crap. I'm curious of that chainmail. It doesn't matter.
That's
Cole's.
called. Oh, for the love of God! This thing is all my stuff is web P's, and so it's not happy about trying to view them. Aesgarth, which is basically the village over here on this side of it. It's the village to the west.
Is that the closest one also?
East. No, it's the village to the east.
Okay.
It's on the other side of the island. On the eastern side of the island.
So that's the one he would go to? That's the big one?
That's the one he went to. That's the one he would probably go to, but you know, he's I do not know. He doesn't tell us everything that he does.
So what did he do here? How much do you know? Keep in mind, I mean, if enough cooperation, then we have one of you. We don't necessarily need two. So if you help us,
there's one place that we didn't do anything because the assumption was at some point he would come back.
can you take us there, please?
He heads off. He heads out. You let it help him up, and he heads off. And he heads out past the hunting lodge, and there's over here on the western side of it. There is a small path that is not. It's not super well hidden, but unless you knew what to look for, you wouldn't know that it's there. And he starts heading down that path, and about 10 to 15 minutes later, so maybe about a mile after that, you see a break in the forest, and you come out onto what looks to be another set of fields. Except these fields are smaller than the ones you saw by the mansion. They're more like maybe, you know, a quarter football field on a side, and there's about 6 of them, and they have a variety of different plants. You see something that looks kind of like a sunflower. You see something that you could swear is just some kind of weed, but they're growing it. You see what you see. I mean, it's spring, so these things are just starting to come up and things like that. So you're kind of making guesses, but there are 6,
are they illegal drug?
There are 6
plants?
things, but what really catches your eye is the long building that's to the that is almost right in front of you as you're coming out into the clearing, and the people that are there that are outside doing things. Many of them look they're normal. They're humans. There's some dwarves. There's, you know, it's a typical assortment of people, but some of them are moving really quickly. Some of them have some abnormalities on them. They look. What did I write here? Some of them show signs of abuse. You can see one person kind of scratching himself, just sitting there scratching himself over and over again to the point where you can see blood coming out of it. And some people are in the fields doing stuff and things of that nature. This looks a little terrible.
Is this what he was capturing people for? What was done here? What does it raise these plants?
This is that drugs plant.
This is his set of slaves. I don't know what's grown here. Not for me to worry. He kind of just drops to the ground. He just drops and sits down on the ground. You guys can give me a nature check or a medicine check to try to see if you can figure out what the stuff is.
I'll go with medicine.
What I've got.
I mean, this climate's warm enough that they can grow things a lot.
I've got survival.
Flower.
Yeah, Marcus, you look at them and they're like, those are plants. They're not even very good plants.
Damn it.
Hylough, however, the sunflower plant looks like something you've heard of called a sundrop. And you know that there is a narcotic that's gotten from that. The little the little plants that are just starting to come up, you're pretty sure are a poppy of some sort. The green plant with the spiky leaves that you can see that where most of the work is going on right now, you're pretty sure that's what they use. That's the plant that they get full on from. And then there's another thing that's starting to grow up like a sugar cane, and you're not 100% sure what that one is.
Okay.
At the same time, Aaron, something is pulling you towards the northern side of the clearing.
When something pulls you, you typically follow.
You head over to the north side, and you guys watch him as he kind of just starts wandering towards the north.
Does he have a look in his eye or anything?
You start wandering. You look over there, and what you see is a twisted tree that's medium-sized, but it has a dark rust red leaves. You recognize it almost immediately. That is an ironwood tree.
Oh, wow.
What's that?
What makes my armor?
Also usually tended by the Fae.
Give that too.
Are there any Fae around?
Aaron has seen this. So yes, it's up to him to say whether or not he's going to tell you or not. What do you want to do, Aaron?
How would I feel?
And keep it to yourself.
That's what I'm leaning towards. Yeah, I'm keeping it to myself.
It's the only one you see. That's the only ironwood tree you see here.
Cool.
I'm gonna keep it to myself. Maybe, give it a little bit of a look over.
All right. Well, from this distance, it kind of looks middle-aged, is your guess. I mean, you weren't tree stuff wasn't your forte, but you'd say it's probably middle-aged, which actually means it's probably over 1,000 years old. Because they grow extremely slow. That's how they pack in and become basically like iron. Which sort of implies to you that there probably was an ironwood copse around here where this field was created. At some point. I mean, you're not sure that it was destroyed by Sklar, but at some point there was an ironwood copse tree here. Ironwood tree copse here. That implies one more thing to you, Aaron. That means that there is probably a Fae circle somewhere. Or at least nearby.
Yeah, I'm keeping that to myself.
Right?
So we saw him go around and look at this tree.
No, he didn't. I said he just looked to the north. Sorry.
But we didn't see him take interest in.
Not that you know of, unless he wants to tell you about it.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. So
it's all mine.
So do we think we can go into this place? Does it look dangerous for us to enter these? What are they, like greenhouses sort of thing? Or?
No, they're just fields.
Okay.
But there's as you kind of are watching, there's about 30 people here tending these fields, and some of them are tending the fields, some of them are doing chores around this building. They've kind of looked up at you, and they kind of ho-hum and continue doing their work. Some of them are very lethargic. Some of them, like I said, have some abnormalities on them. They all look like they've been abused of some sort or another, like beaten. This is clearly a different group of people than the farmers that were working the main plantation.
And there's no guards around here at all?
No, nothing you see. Just the one that brought you here.
So I'll tell them, you're free. You can go. You don't have to go. You don't have to stay here. You don't have to be a slave anymore.
A few of them stop and look up at you and kind of nod in your direction. Morning! And then they go back to doing their work.
Do they have collars on?
You don't see any.
Okay.
The one guy who was sitting there by the thing and scratching himself to where he bleed, he finally stops and looks at you guys and says, "Well, for leave, We don't get any more of the stuff.
Oh, they're hooked on drugs, ain't they?
Okay.
That's one way to do it. We're gonna need to start a drug rehabilitation clinic.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds like a
I
lot
need
of work.
I need some horses and some startup money, and we're good. Horse therapy works 100%.
Horse therapy.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious that many of these guys have some form of addiction. And those that don't have the addiction usually have some kind of abnormality. And they all look like they've been beaten multiple times. Like, old crisscross scars and all that sort of stuff.
Interesting.
Clara is not a nice man.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
I'll ask the guy that did
AGB.
respond to us. Where do you live? Where do you sleep?
Right there.
You don't have any.
Or right
any
here,
place-
depending on whether or not I make it to my bunk.
Is there a bunk? Is there a building or anything?
There's a building. Yeah, there is a building on the edge, like a long
Okay.
house.
Right.
kind of
Okay.
thing.
Right. Well, I'll go up to the building then look around.
Yeah, I mean it's basically one big roomed longhouse with a bunch of straw mats and things like that. There's one spot on the end closest to you where it's clear that they cook some things and stuff like that. There's a couple of fire pits there, as well as supplies and things of that nature. But that's about it. It's pretty bare bones.
Yeah, I got no guards, no sign of anybody
Yeah, I mean,
even.
more than
have on
likely
these
these
people.
people have been conditioned and they're addicted to what they're
Right.
working with, so they
Right.
don't really want to leave.
Yeah, this is. They're going to need lots of help to get free of this, if they ever do.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the people look like, like typical, like somebody you might see on the streets of Maribel. There's nothing special. There's no. It's not like they're all one race or anything like that. It's not like they're all
Yeah.
Alex or anything like that. It's just a smattering of different people from walks of. I mean, it's hard to tell what walks of life they're from, but a smattering of different people that you probably would have seen somebody like this on the streets of Maribel.
Any strange symbols or anything?
No, not that you
Magical.
noticed, but give me an investigation check as you kind of look around. Yeah, you don't notice any strange symbols or anything like that. You do notice an odd tree to the north with dark rust red leaves.
Okay, I'll go look at it. Nature check. Do I know what it is?
You can give me a nature check. You're not sure until you get up there and you start kind of feeling it a bit. You're pretty sure that's an ironwood tree.
Do I know about the fairies and the legend that I were to? Or I just know it's an
No,
ironwood
you just
tree?
know that ironwood is highly sought after as an alternative to steel and iron for making iron weapons.
Are there any branches on the ground or anything that I could take back to potentially use as that?
Nothing big enough to turn into something, no. But I mean, if you wanted to make like a small sculpture of something, sure.
Nah.
I mean, to make
Although, actually,
a-
yeah, I could sell it to somebody. Actually, possibly.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, to make like a weapon or something like that usually requires a decent sized chunk, and there's nothing of that size.
Okay. Well, I'll get some of the smaller stuff. Maybe I can sell it to someone who wants to work in unusual.
Yeah.
So about the guard, I say we set him free. He showed it to us. We wouldn't have found this place easily, and
Fair enough. I mean, to some extent, he was just doing his job.
And to some extent, the Nazis were doing their job too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
I'd
Sorry,
still
that's
kill him.
my moral thing. You guys are the ones that are more clever here. Sorry.
no, we're talking.
No, Praedyth was already.
I'm
gonna
speaking
say,
from Iylis's
I
point
think
of
we should
view.
kill
I
him.
know. All right, that was I'm unkind of me to do that. Sorry.
Praedyth pipes up. Let's just kill him. He killed everybody else.
Why don't we just turn them over to the villagers and let them take care of them? They can do the justice. We don't have to.
That's a possibility.
We could give him a head start and then tell the villagers where he went.
Praedyth cast.
That's a fighting chance, at least.
Praedyth cast Toll the Dead on him.
Okay. Right. He collapses because I'm not going to make you roll anything.
Well, that settles that.
Problem solved.
Murder has solved the problem yet again.
I like, what happened? I don't want to know.
Fate intervened.
Okay.
Fate intervened.
Well, it looks that way, doesn't it?
Well, that solves that. That answers that
You
question.
call yourself Fate?
So,
I'm but a servant.
is all of this stuff illegal?
Everything that Hylough was able to identify, sure. It's all drugs of some form or another. There was one more I forgot to tell you. And the name of the plant is the name of the drug. It's halfling weed. That's the sort of weed-like thing that was growing there that I forgot to mention to you.
That's not the sugar cane like thing.
No, the sugar cane like is something else.
Is there any already chopped up and ready to be shipped?
No, they're starting to
bales,
harvest the falan is what they're trying to harvest, and that has to be dried and then crushed into a powder before it's ready to go.
But they don't have any.
They don't have any currently. I mean, they have some, but your assumption is that what they have is to keep them tied over until they have more.
Okay.
So if we burn it down, cool. They're going to go through withdrawals.
Oh no, I mean I don't. Again, it's the universe will work this one out. We'll just tell. I say we just tell the authorities where it is, and
yeah,
if there were samples, we could show them to them, and
you don't want to start dealing,
it, but
you don't want to start dealing.
No, there's none here, so it's an academic question at this point.
I mean, there is some, just not a lot.
I know, but I'm not going to take their supply.
I mean, the fact that the junkie that's sitting there scratching the crap out of himself isn't into it right now should tell you something about whether or not there's got to be at least somebody around here who's keeping control of some stuff. I mean, that should be enough there to tell you that.
Yeah, so let's ask the junkie who hands it out. Where do you go to get your drugs?
He's like the overseer. The overseer sends it all.
Where is the overseer?
He looks around for a bit. And, I don't see her right here now. She's not here.
Where is she? Where does she live? Here? Does she have a house here? Home here?
What does she look like?
She usually comes twice a day. Once in the morning, once in the evening.
Did she come this morning?
What does she look like?
Did she live at the windmill?
Now that you say, I don't think she came this morning. He starts scratching even harder. There's blood kind of slowly leaking down his arm.
So, guys, there was a trunk in the windmill that lady was really desperate to get at, to the point where she was jeopardizing her own life to get that trunk.
Huh.
Do you think our unconscious lady might be the overseer?
Can I ask what
she didn't?
If he knows what he looks like, what she looks like?
I don't pay much attention to that stuff these days.
I'm sure.
She's pretty, especially when she gives me stuff. She's pretty.
I'm sure.
Does she wear anything nice?
She wears a shirt and shoes.
Shoes. No special jewelry.
Describe the woman we rescued from the windmill.
You described that to him?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Does the junkie know what you described to him?
I know.
Wow, the junkie is relatively lucid right now. It's like, no, that doesn't sound like her. Not at all.
Well, we're gonna go back soon. I don't think that woman will come back ever again.
Oh.
Can you get what you need from here? Gesturing to the fields.
Can I?
Of course, they're going to overdose.
In time. And he's like starts rocking, and he's like,
Well,
"They're not coming back! They're not coming back!"
Can I
He starts shouting.
describe the caller girl to him?
He doesn't respond to that at all. He's just continuing to shout, "They're not coming back."
is there any? Who was the last one to come here?
What do you mean?
Who's the newest?
If you're asking him questions at this point, he is no longer.
He's lost it. Yeah, he's
not paying any
panicked.
attention to you guys at all.
Yeah. Okay.
He blew it.
Well,
Told him that the drugs weren't coming back.
Some of the people in the fields are kind of looking at him
this is gonna be
funny,
a panic.
but they're still doing stuff. A few other people are starting to realize what he's saying.
Yeah, I think it's time to go.
Some of them are pretty much like, it's just the junkie. Some of them are like thinking about it and starting to put together that the person didn't show up this morning. Yeah, maybe there will be a panic here soon.
Yeah, let's head out.
Excited.
No one looks more lucid than anyone else, right? That he was the one with most lucid.
No, they're all. I mean, some of them are more lucid than him. Like he's literally scratching the crap out of himself, so he's not in a great position. There are some others that, like I said, some of them look at him like, yeah, it's just a junkie. So those guys are probably more lucid. Sure, they're probably not as far into the drugs. Like not
Who looks the
everybody is
least
addicted.
beaten up?
I'll see if I can get.
Who looks the least beaten up and roughed up?
There's a couple guys that are at the edge of one of the fields that are taking when people have brought some of the spiky leaf cuttings, they're putting it into bags. They look a little less beaten up.
Yeah, I want to ask them if they know which direction the woman came from.
I'm gonna ask
And
those two
left.
guys.
Whoever is the more lucid and least drugged up or whatever.
Well, I mean, some of them don't look very drugged up at all. Like I said, not everybody looks like they're addicted. Some of them look like they've just been abused the crap out of. Others of them have strange abnormalities, like one guy's got a massive growth on his back. Another guy, his eye is missing, literally just missing.
People who no one would look for.
Yeah, stuff like that. Some of those things are.
If we had more healing, we could heal somebody.
If
But if you want to ask somebody, just let me know. Are you?
Yeah. I just want to ask somebody. Whoever looks like I could get the best answer out of. I don't care whether.
So you approach somebody, and ask them, where does the woman come from? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Which direction does she come from, and where does she go
back to? The guy kind of
to?
looks at you with sort of a blank stare for a bit, and without saying a word, he just kind of points from the direction you came from.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, I think guys, let's go back that way.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Yeah, you guys leave this sort of cleared space of drug fields to them continuing to harvest a drug.
Yeah.
And you guys head back. It takes about 15 minutes. Get back.
And it just looked like that was where they lived. The building.
Yeah, they lived in the
where
building.
they were lived.
They
Okay, wasn't
clearly
anything.
lived in the building.
Okay. And that was the only building there, right?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I'd say we go to the port. Let's get it ready, and maybe we get a chance we go back to town, then go to the port.
Give me an intelligence.
We kind of
check.
go past the port on the way there. Okay.
No, you don't go past the port on the way there.
Oh, was that? I thought the map was.
You're going to the port that
On the
you
road?
mentioned is to the east, on the other side of the island.
I was just looking at the road. Was that not to
What
go through the
road?
town?
Okay. Well, here
Let me
we
the
go.
map again.
Here we go. God damn it. It's all because this stupid thing was in the way.
I was wrong. I mean, it's okay. I was wrong. It's not a problem.
No. Something was in the way. I couldn't activate the map. He said he is pointing out this one here.
Right.
That is what he's pointing out. You guys are way over here.
Yeah, the likelihood is, but there's a road going to the southwest
There's a road going
that ends from the port.
This is Maribal.
Right. From the port that he went to.
This road here. Yes, it
Yeah,
goes
there's a
all
road
the
there.
way down here. Yes.
Yeah, I
That's
was
correct.
wondering if that would be better to go on a carriage on the road rather than try to go cross country through the jungle.
It's up to you.
Well, what is the jungle? I mean, the jungle looks like jungle. I assume it's not.
Yeah,
There are
it's
any roads
forested
there.
and, well, there is a road. The road continues up the river here. As far as you know, it continues all the way into the mountains.
Yeah.
But you don't know of any road that leaves there. But you don't have a map, so you really don't know.
Right. So yeah, my thought is we go back to town and find a map of some type, and then go for the port.
That's probably a good idea.
Unless someone else knows this area. I mean, again, I'm not familiar with this island at all.
None of them are. Nobody's from this island, so.
Yep.
So, and we didn't find any teleporters. They said he left this morning
Yeah.
in a carriage. Did they say how? Did they say carriage?
No,
Or
you
was that
you just said he went. They said when you kind of flubbed the, you didn't really flub the roll, but when you confused the guards, they said no, he already left for the port this morning. That's all they said. Like you've killed
we
the
have
one
another-
guard who's
Yeah, we have another guard.
who could have told you something, but
Yeah, we have another guard. So I guess we'll go back and ask him.
We have a spare.
all
It's
right.
not yet dead.
He is still unconscious.
I'll let Praedyth deal with him. You wake him up.
He does toll the dead. Oh, I thought it would wake him.
It's awakening
Yeah,
to a
he's-
different state of being, I guess.
True.
I mean,
It's
if
a
you want to be
big bell.
religious
Why wouldn't
about
that
it.
wake him up? I don't get it.
All right.
No, I mean he's still unconscious. What do you guys want to do?
Let's get in the carriage.
I mean,
we
yes,
need
you could take, as you say, you could cross over, and you could take the road all the way down around here and all the way across through here. Your guess is that might take 2 to 3 hours, something like that.
Oh, really? I thought it'd be a lot longer than that. So I'm surprised.
Well, no, I mean the island isn't that long. I mean, this literally from here to here is like 5 miles. So it's not
Okay.
that far.
But
This each one of these hexes is 1 mile. So, you know, when you're going from here to here, it's like 5 miles as a crow flies. It was probably 6 or 7 to get up through the river, but
unless we know a way cross country, I don't see any way we can catch him, and I don't even know we can do it cross country. So yeah, that's my vote. Is go back to the
Well, I
town
don't
and then go
think-
from there.
Yeah, we can go back to town. I don't think we need to try and cut him off. I imagine he's probably going to a place, and we can figure that out.
But let's wake up the guard and ask how he left. I'll wake up the guard.
okay.
Unless
Slap
somebody else
the guy
wants to do
awake. He wakes up with a start. A little blood coughed out.
So you're living for now. Let him look around at the disaster. he has. Where did your master go? We need answers and need them quickly.
Probably to forgotten the name of the city already. Which is good because the guard is like totally freaking out. Like,
He went to the port.
Aesgarth. I'm sure he went to Aesgarth. He's usually got a
we
ship
know
standing by there.
How did he leave? He left this morning. How did he leave?
Took his carriage.
By the road?
Of course. You didn't pass a carriage coming this way, but you guys didn't leave until like 10 o'clock either.
Yeah. Is
You know, all about that whole thing about selling your diamonds, your gems off and stuff.
it the road going to Mirabal?
Yeah. Yes.
That's what the droid says.
Yeah, he said he took the road.
Yeah, and I'm
There's
asking
only
the road
one
to
road.
Mirabal. Okay.
Yeah, there's only
Well,
one road.
there is, like you pointed out, there's one going up into the hills.
He's going
so-
up into the hills, but I mean, yeah, when you say clarify, he's like, yeah, to Maribel. Where else would he go?
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he clarifies that he said that.
You guys ready to go?
I'm down.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I
ready.
don't got nothing else to do here.
All right, so you guys are headed back to Maribel.
Ariana coming with, I assume.
Of course, I'm coming with you. I need to get to Emerdal, as we've established. By the by, the charm person has worn off, Dresd'a. It has been about an hour.
And you probably know that you've been charmed.
Oh, no, she does.
Oh, yes, you do.
You know that you've been charmed after it completes. You guys get into your carriage with your ill-gotten gains, or your not ill-gotten. I think you were coming by They were come by.
We did work for them.
Work
I mean,
through work. Yes, they were
people
working.
risk their lives.
Yes, that's very true. With your
Before,
gains,
Before Praedyth gets into the carriage, finally, he stops. He's like, "Oh, I almost forgot." Turns around and casts Toll the Dead on the other guard and moves on with his day.
Jesus.
Okay, do not get to talk to any prisoners from now on.
And the guard's like sitting there, like just falls over.
It's only what he deserves. Only dealing out proper justice.
Well,
proper justice.
Says the little
he may have been someone who didn't actually. Anyway,
he participated in the murder of innocents.
Okay. So, rather than do this ethical argument, I'm going to go and find the representative for the farmer and let him know that we're going back.
Okay,
if he
so
wants to come
that takes
with.
a few minutes, and an elder gentleman, but not like ancient, but an elder gentleman comes with you and gets onto the carriage with the rest of you guys, which is now severely overloaded. But considering it's got
I was going to say, are there any other?
We got our horses.
You got 4 horses, but you had 6 prisoners, or the 6 guys from in the thing. You've got the old guy now. You've got
Ariana.
Well, this is part of the 6. So you got 13, including those. So you got 14 people. That would mean you'd have to put 10 people on the carriage, which plus you've got all the ill-gotten gains. So some of that is like art objects and stuff like that. It's not just like it's paintings and things.
Is there another carriage or a wagon here?
There is you can go ask the stable hands if they have something else. One guy, let me bring this back up. So heading back over to the carriage house here, you can see that there is another carriage in there, but part of the roof here has collapsed onto it. You'd have to extricate it, and you're still not 100% sure it would be what we're looking for, travel worthy. I mean, you'd have to get it out to see if it is.
Is there a wagon or anything? Is that anything else we could use?
Around, there isn't a wagon here. He probably has one. In fact, the stable hands say yes, we have one. It's just it was sent out for cargo yesterday. It just hasn't returned yet.
Did anybody that ask these people they know who this woman is that would bring the
very pretty woman.
Yeah.
They're like what are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, you're the person you owed monies to, in addition to other crimes, has vast fields of drugs to the west, which were being worked by his slaves who have been
as you say more and more, the draw continues to drop open more and more. Like, what?
It's out a path, and I'll tell them where the path is. However, we'll send someone to let them know. But once they run out of drugs,
who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah,
yeah.
You might protect yourselves.
Utter pandemonium.
We will tell the city about it.
Okay. There's more people over there.
Yeah.
Approximately, 20 to 30?
There's 30. Approximately 30. They're addicted?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
what we found.
To greater or lesser extent, they
have
all been
try to
enslaved.
Convince them to come back and help. Come back here so we can help them.
Honestly, I would rather you do it because I didn't want to deal with what may happen when they understand they're not getting any more drugs. It's going to be pandemonium. They're already on edge. So, the gods, I'm sure, will smile upon you to help these people, but my conscience is clean as far as I don't want them to be your curse. It is on you now.
So you're going to curse these guys instead. There you go.
Oh, I'm going to let them curse themselves, but yeah.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. You're going to send people back from the city, though, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to tell them what's going on. So
Okay.
I will ask them to come back and help.
So we'll go check on them a little later then. All right. And yeah.
Okay.
So how are you guys trying to get back to town? Like, you can put.
I guess we're
you
going
can try to get 10 people on the carriage. It's just you're gonna have to go slow because.
I was going to say, I guess we're just going to go slow, and some of us can walk. I mean,
Some
at
of
the
us
rate.
might be able to double up on the horses too. I mean, Praedyth can ride with me on the horse or something like that.
That's true. All right, so you guys.
I suggest
you figure out the logistics. I'm not going to worry about this too much.
Yeah.
Figure out the logistics, and you head back to Maribel.
And just amongst our group, anything that you want to keep and don't want revealed, I would advise dropping it off early or before we go into town for when the lieutenant asks. Just a thought, but we're going to have a hard time getting it out of the carriage without the guard knowing. And I'm doing that away from everyone who's not amongst our party.
Well, there's only one plus the 6 slaves. 6 would-be slaves, I should say.
Right.
Okay.
So, all right, let's go.
All right, so you guys head out. You get close to the city. What do you guys? Are you taking? I.e., you want to keep your other stuff, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
It's all in the trunk. So
that's what I was going to say. If we load it on the horses rather than the trunk.
Well, why would you care about that? Like, they're not going to tell you to give them the carriage back, are they?
Is Ariana asking that?
No, I'm asking that as the GM.
Oh yeah, no, I think they'll. We borrowed the carriage.
Okay, all right.
I mean, we did borrow the carriage from the lieutenant. The lieutenant's going to say, "Hey, this is evidence, and what else is there?"
Okay.
Yeah, we might be able to talk our way out of it.
All right, so you're going to put it on the horses. All right,
yes.
That's fine. So there's a bunch of horses that have like paintings and statues and little busts and things like that kind of on them, but whatever.
And if somebody wants to go, and hopefully we have bags and stuff to put them on, but some of them, I'm sure
not really, because you guys.
How many paintings do we have?
Well, a couple paintings. It's not like you got like 7 different things. It's not a ton of.
I don't know what all we have. I forgot about the paintings, to be perfectly honest.
You had 7 art objects that were worth some money, so it's up to you guys if you don't want to take them. Like, it's up to you guys.
No, I'm fine with it. Whatever. I mean, and someone needs to go in to alert the lieutenant, I would think, first to get him to meet us. Finally, also, Sev, we could meet them both, or we could just tell Sev about the, we found a track to the, you guys did tell me we found the Lord's son, right? That we know where he's at.
No, they have not mentioned it to you.
Oh.
Okay, never mind then. I won't say anything about that.
Oh, well, why don't we tell the lieutenant about the drugs and tell Sev about the people?
I forgot we found I found the
Oh,
dude.
you mean the hint that I said you were going to tell him the most important bit wasn't enough to jog your memory? Okay.
I didn't hear that part, to be honest with you. But no, that's what I was saying with going to Calastria. Because he was sold to a gentleman named Tormund, and I imagine that he's probably in Calastria.
Okay. Yeah, that's what he is, but I didn't know the son specifically is what.
That's what I'm saying. The son was sold to Tormund.
Okay. Well,
Tormund now owns the son. So
once you tell me that, we can let Sev know that, and also we can tell Sev the drugs, and then we specifically told the lieutenant would let him deal with the slavery. That's the letter. Let's try to keep it as close to the letter of this deal as we can. That way we don't get confused and we at least have an out. That's just how I like to do business, but it's up to everyone else. That's what I plan to do.
Praedyth doesn't tell nobody nothing anyway. So.
He just kills people.
He just follows the whims of fate.
He just casts Toll the Dead on people he deems unworthy.
In Praedyth's view, those 2 people were just evil people who murdered. So they get what they're coming to them.
Nobody eat Praedyth's breakfast because you may end up dead. That's my breakfast.
Remember, don't kill Praedyth's raven when you die.
Yeah. So someone needs to go get the lieutenant and Sev. That's what I think. So we can meet them outside the wall.
Well, there is no wall, but
Well, outside the city, it'd be.
I mean, you have the 4 horses. You can load up the horses, and 4 people can take those somewhere else. You can take the carriage to Lieutenant Sinan at the
Okay.
at the
That's what we
villa, and bring him the kidnapped people, the would-be slaves. That's the
Let's do
the
that.
law.
So I was trying to roundabout suggest that. So all 4 horses go drop the stuff off on the ship, go to Sev's, and then we'll take the carriage to the lieutenants.
All right. So who's going on
And
the
then we'll
horses?
meet you at
Who's
Sev's.
going on the carriage?
Oh,
I'll
I'm
ride
not
a
letting
horse.
anybody else get away with my stolen valuables.
All right. So
I'll go on the
Hylough,
carriage.
And Aaron and Hylough are on horses.
I guess I will go to on a carriage.
All right.
Praedyth
Iylis,
is riding with
Marcus.
Hylough.
Okay. There's still 2 horses then.
Oh,
Rhux will
Are you
take
gonna go
one,
with your?
yeah, Rhux, and then
and that leaves.
We're not actually
Praedyth's
using
not
one
really
of the
going to be able to
horses.
ride his own horse.
um,
Can we just have the reins pulled on another
Oh,
horse
Dresd'a.
for that last
Dresd'a.
one?
Sure, you can do
Or
that.
Dresd'a.
All right, we're getting too
we're not-
bogged down into the minutia.
What convention?
I just want to know who's going to be talking with Sinan. That's what I want to know. And who's
I'm going to be talking
Zev?
with Sinan, I guess. If no one
Well,
else
I
will,
guess
I will. If someone with a better charisma wants to, that's fine too.
Who's going to be going in with the carriage? Who's going to not be going with the carriage?
I'm
That's
going
what
with
it
the
is.
carriage.
I'm going
Aaron
with
Didn't
carriage.
Iylis
is
say he was
making
going?
sure
Iylis
his
was going.
ill-gotten gains
I'll
shall not
go
be
with-
compromised.
I'll go with Marcus to talk to Sinan.
okay,
Alright.
so let me make sure the lieutenant is the other. Seb is the guy that originally hired us, right? The
Captain Sev Kewen
captain.
hired
Okay,
you to
so
figure out why the Sahagwin were attacking the
Right.
town.
why are we not? What are we giving him? Because he's the one that wants
The drugs
okay.
and the information on the Lord's son.
Okay, all right.
We can
Okay.
also tell him about the slaves, but let's just tell Lieutenant whatever his name is first.
Okay.
Because in order to get the transportation out there, we had to make a deal.
Okay. Why don't we just do Toll of the Dead on the lieutenant and then just give it all to the?
It only works if he's really low on hit points.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's it
Like
fixes most
hurting
things, but not all
cats.
things.
Hey,
I
I'm
like
one
to be
that-
the cat.
I'm one
I don't
that's
like to
just
be the
sitting here,
person
so-
trying to herd the cats.
I'm just
Well,
trying to
Praedyth
end the
is
adventure, and you guys are making it difficult. That's all.
Okay. Okay, I'm good. I'm shutting up.
I'm
Nothing else for
in
me
the
to say.
carriage. I want to talk to the guy.
All right,
Then
so,
go. Okay.
No, I know. I'm trying
So
to figure out who's going
Dresd'a-
where.
Dresd'a, Robert, and I are going in the
Okay,
carriage,
so it
right?
takes you an hour to get
Yes.
back to town. You get back to town. Dresd'a, Iylis, and Marcus are on their way to the villa to return the carriage along with the kidnapped people.
Yes.
All right. The other rest of them are making their way a different way through the city to the ship or to Sev first.
Sev first.
Go to the ship
All right.
first. Unload. The
Okay,
loot.
whatever. That's fine. We can do that. Yes. Okay, loot. We got the loot. Forgot we have the loot. Okay, no problem. We'll do the loot and then we'll.
All right.
Sorry.
It's all right. All right. So let us start with Lieutenant Sinan, and at the villa, you guys make it to the villa with your group. And you find that it is still being watched over by the guard, by the Argent Watch. They recognize the carriage and let you into the main area of it. But they're surprised to see so many extra people on board when you guys get off. It has been approximately 4 hours. Sinan isn't there right now.
Have
So the
them
guy who's there is like, we were too bad you didn't send word. We could have went for him right away, but
Thank you, Peter.
but if you could just wait here, we can have. We'll go. I'll send somebody to get Sinan right now.
Okay.
And so he sends off, and a few minutes later, 3 minutes later.
By the way, give these people food and water and try to.
Some of them have
from my
started to move
Pact.
into the villa proper just to sit out on the grass or the things.
Yeah, well, I meant on a trip back.
You guys start feeding them and things like that. So about 10 minutes later, when you guys reach the ship, but at the same time, as they start talking with Sinan. Sinan gets back and he's like, "Ah, see, you've arrived and you have some more people. What can you say? What has
So
happened?"
these are people. These are. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Robert. You came with
didn't
us to
say
be
anything.
charisma guy.
Sorry.
Okay.
Say it again and say what you were saying again. Peter.
What happened? What do you say? What did you
we
find out?
found so much stuff. Let me tell you. Okay, so we first of all we found this whole little village that he's got that seems to be just normal people that seem to be
So far, you're
perhaps
telling
working
me
on-
how a plantation works. Can you get to something that was illegal?
yes. We found a bunch of this. Let me show you all these.
We're excited because we found so many things. I'll give him Bardic
and
calm and let him know.
Oh yeah, no. You just there's no convincing here. Like you have the ledger stuff and all that sort of stuff. So you start showing
that's
him
what
all
I'm-
the stuff.
I'm showing that. Yeah.
So I got a question for you, and I'm gonna ask the question, and then I'm gonna see what your response is.
Okay.
Do you have the sheet that talks about Riveled Moravan in there?
I think so.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So
Since
you hand him the
I
paper.
didn't really actually know about it, but
Yep. You hand him the paper. You hand him all the papers, and he starts looking through them. And after a moment, his eyes light up,
oh.
and he
What do
kind
you
of
see?
takes a sheet out. He folds it and puts it inside of his armor's not the right word, but you know what I mean. Inside of his cloak.
Yeah.
And then he continues looking through the rest of it. He says, "Well, this is good work. I'll contact the commander of the Mergale Legion here and have them sent out so that they can take over the place. Good work. I guess letting you guys have the carriage was a good idea after all. I need to get this report in as quickly as possible. Can you? I will.
Actually,
let you guys take it
we've
from
got to
here."
go. We have to go check on our vessel. So, meet you in the morning, perhaps for a debrief, or if you have it from here.
Oh, well, we can. My men can handle these people. That's for sure.
Okay.
And
the farmers, and here's the farmer, and
oh yeah, the farmer guy. He's like, yes. You'll have to come with this down to the main watch. We'll have to figure out where who. We'll have to find the contract's not the word. Find the role that has your debt on it, and we'll see. And we'll talk with the lady governor to figure out exactly what needs to happen next. Because even I don't know exactly what the rules are for this. And so those guys start to head off, and Sinan leaves him with another guy and hurries down the road.
Okay.
You guys start heading. You guys start heading to the ship. All right. So you guys have reached the ship. Reaching the ship, as you start taking some stuff off the horses and start taking up the gangplank, you reach the top of the ship, and there are 3 new people on the ship. True is standing there looking at you guys like, huh, as you're bringing up stuff like paintings and other things like that. And she says,
Ocean 11,
you guys are doing that and look and see these new people. The new people are looking at you. True's looking at you, and True says, "Did I miss a heist or something?"
Sorta. We thought we'd
And
do
you guys
some
continue on with the
decorating.
thing. So there are
Did
3
we miss
people. There are 3
hiring?
people on the thing as you get up on top of here. That look
Governor,
like,
the
look like this.
sorceress.
They look like this one. This guy, he's sort of a heavy-set little kid, clearly not much more than maybe 16. He is currently kind of twirling up some rope and things like that. He's about almost 6 feet tall. He's not exactly a small person. You see this one. This kid looks like maybe 15 tops. Oops, I haven't shown you the thing. I accidentally popped it out instead. He looks maybe 15 tops. He is currently climbing up the rigging and trying to get some stuff set up. And then you see this girl right here. She is currently on the business end of a mop, and she's swabbing the decks as well. You still have your other 2 people that you had before, Rat and Catriona. And because I had never actually shown you Catriona before, here is Catriona.
Oh, cool.
So you now have a burgeoning crew of 4 new crew members, and you still have Perry in the brink, or in Hawk, so to speak. So these guys are kind of looking at you guys as you're bringing stuff onto the port. The girl with the pink hair kind of frowns a bit, like kind of like you get a feeling like, what the hell did I get myself into? True is like, it has asked, did I miss a heist? And it's like, why are you guys bringing on paintings? Is that a painting of the founder of the Mergale League? Indeed,
maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
It's
Is that who that is? I didn't
know.
know.
You
from
have
a
a
criminal's
bust?
residence that we have procured for safekeeping.
Okay. When the magistrate asks me what happened here, I will just say safekeeping. Got it. You guys start taking stuff down into the hold of the ship and stuff like that. And
Right.
it takes you maybe probably takes you about 15 minutes to unload everything off and get it into the ship. And so you guys all happen to make it to the dock watch at about the same time. And entering in there, strangely enough, the sergeant isn't drilling any people. Like, it's strangely quiet, actually.
Okay, go on in.
All right, you head over to the door.
Knock on Sev's office.
All right, you knock on the door, and it's like, yeah, come on in. Opening up, there's Sev.
Yeah.
He's oh, you guys, how was the raid?
It went
It was great.
Yeah.
very well.
We all got together online. We coordinated everything. We
Yes,
entered that
and
dungeon
then
all
this
at the same
guy-
time.
Then somebody,
This guy
Leroy
named Leroy
Jenkins.
Anyway, continue. Sorry. So what did you find?
Well, they started burning everything as soon as we got there. That was the biggest thing.
Well,
But,
things had already
we were
started
able
burning
to-
before that, but continue.
Yeah. Well, I'm spicing it up for flair.
Fair enough. I was just reminding you that things were already on fire when you got there.
Yeah. They started burning everything as soon as we got there. But like we were able to get in and find a bunch of the papers that were needed and stuff like that.
Oh, great. Where is it?
I gave it to what's his face.
Jeez, now it comes to home here.
Sav kind of looks at you and his jaw drops open and he's like, you gave the evidence to Sinan?
Yeah.
Only the evidence. In order to get the carriage, the only evidence we could give them was on the slaves. However, we have found where the Lord's son is. We have evidence of that, and there is a huge drug.
Okay, so you have
growing
the
facilities.
pages for that, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Show them.
I got other stuff too. I didn't give him everything.
So you go like he doesn't have the page. You gave them a page that has information about Rivold as well. So
I did.
What?
I don't know what's going on here.
I'm
Keystone
kind of
Cops, it
confused.
seems.
Yeah,
I'm kind of
I
confused
made it
about like
clear
the
we
information
needed
that
to-
I'm giving out.
We made it clear we needed to have something to give to Sev, and yet y'all just—I don't know what y'all doing. I can't figure it out.
I thought I
did
was
give something
talking to
Sev.
somebody.
We
I
gave,
thought I was talking to a cop.
You were. You've been
Or-
talking to 2 cops.
yes.
Uh-huh. So what's the deal with the other one?
So we have the
Send it.
evidence. You said you found evidence of the Lord. He is in such and such. And what evidence was that? Marcus asks, because Marcus doesn't know.
I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time understanding what you guys are asking for.
Okay, so let's break this down for you. You had a ledger of pages. You have a bunch of pages
Yes.
from a ledger. One of those pages talked about Rivold Moravan, the son of
Yes.
Lord Moravan, who was sold to someone in Calastria. I specifically
Yes,
asked you, did you give all the pages to Lieutenant Sinan, including the one with
He
Rivold
did ask,
Moravan?
including the one that held more
And you literally said yes. So you gave all the pages, including the one that talks about Lord Moravan's son, to Lieutenant Sinan, who was the first guy you talked.
Okay, so where's
Who-
Lieutenant
who's-
Sinan?
Lieutenant
Who's
Sin
the
is who you
one
just
who
talked to, who folded
has
up
just
a
run
sheet
to
of
the
paper
governor.
and hurriedly ran off.
I see.
That was the one we were supposed to give to Sev.
That's why I asked
Well-
specifically about
Guess I'm not allowed to
it. Be the face anymore?
be the face anymore
I'm just
because
kidding.
jeez.
So
I did say no, but I didn't know where it was, so it doesn't really matter.
yeah,
I didn't know what I was giving, and I thought he was a reasonable person.
Oh no, Lieutenant Sin
From
is
what
an
I had-
original person, but remember from the last 2 sessions, Sinan and Sev have a rivalry going
Yes.
about who is going to, gain promotions and things like that. And so you just gave the promotion to Sinan.
Iylis doesn't care about that.
Oh,
Cool.
it's fine. It's fine.
Excellent.
But he's going to care.
I thought
when
it
Sev
was
no longer deals with us because we're idiots. But anyway, so we have the information.
I thought I had just given it to somebody who was going to like burn it or something like that.
No. Lieutenant Sinan is still an Argent Watch member. He's just
Got it. Okay.
he's just also a ladder climber. So
The person who's paying us is the person you didn't give it to.
yeah,
That was the person you should have
that's the
given it
gotcha
to.
for. Like the guy who's
Well-
been paying you money to do this stuff is the guy you just basically screwed over.
Yeah. So, we know where he's at. We tell us what's that guy's name.
Hold on. Let me make this a teaching moment real quick. This
Okay.
is why you guys should take notes. Like, I can't always continue to remind you of things, and many of you are taking notes, and this is awesome. I love it. That's great, guys. But you really should take notes about what's going on, because there's a lot of things going on, and I try to remind you every time, and I try to ask leading questions to make sure that you are doing what you want to be doing. But there are things like this where, like, it's one thing for me to say, "Oh, you forgot the eggs back in the pool," and to be fair, that's my fault. I should assume that you guys should have taken the eggs. But in this case, there has been plot points to point out that these two have a rivalry, and so these sorts of things you should keep track.
I'll
of
be
notes.
honest. I
No,
got
it's all good.
confused by the
It's-
names.
It's all good. It's all good.
The names are very, very similar. I mean,
Sinan and
Sev
Kewin. You guys have just been calling Sev by his
and
first
Sev.
name, and that's fine. But you should
Yeah.
take notes, and then you won't have to worry about that because you can just look at your note and go, "Oh yeah, Sinan is this guy." So anyway, just keep that in mind, because there's a lot of stuff like this I will try not to have similar names. That's a good point, and I will take that to heart. But at the same time, we're going to have things that have some plot points that sometimes 2 people are trying to go after the same thing and have opposing reasons for why they want to get it, and you want to make sure that it's perfectly fine that Iylis doesn't care. That's awesome. Great. No harm, no foul here. In some sense. In another sense, maybe there is a foul here because, you've been working in one guy and now you've basically helped out a different guy. But it's all right. It's all good. I'm just try to remember to take at least
I don't think
rudimentary notes is all
Iylis
I'm
would
saying.
have. Yeah,
That's all.
honestly, I don't think Iylis would have
Cared, and that's fine. That's fine.
He would have. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, go for it.
He would have cared about getting the money right and getting that done correctly, but he wouldn't have cared about a rivalry. So he would have done whatever would have given him the money. But if the rivalry had gotten in the way of that, he wouldn't have cared who he.
Yeah, but didn't you
Gave
just
the
find that
information
big old
to.
chest of coins too? So
Yeah, I
maybe
also have that.
all of a sudden
it's all good. It's all good.
that $50 doesn't look as nice as that
I'm just saying,
100,000.
all I'm saying here is that it might pay to take some notes occasionally, just because you will, especially with highlights of plot points
Fair
and
enough.
things like that. That's all. That's all I'm asking you to do. And many of you are. This is not an indictment that you guys are not taking notes. I mean, I clearly hear when somebody's like, "Hey, how do you spell that?" and things like that. So I clearly know you're taking a note, or at least trying to make sure that you can keep people things. So I'm truly, I'm not upset about anything here. I don't anyone take that that way at all. I'm just trying to help you guys so that we don't spend 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes every session trying to remind everybody of everything. That's all. And get to the meat of the stuff as fast as we can. That's all.
Understandable.
And it's perfect. Like, you have a perfectly good reason. Iylis doesn't care about the rivalry. Perfectly fine. That's fine.
Okay, so can I say, listen, I wasn't there to keep him from doing this. I didn't know he was going to do this. So, but I've got something even better, the source of a huge amount of drug trades that's going through that estate up there, destroying large amounts of Falon, poppy, sundrop, and halfling weed and other things up there. And he's got slave labor up there.
The crestfallen kind of Sev kind of starts to look up a little bit as you're saying. He's like, "What?"
Yes, he's got slave labor that's addicted to the drugs that he had forced them to harvest. And
hold on,
and
what do the people look like?
All sorts of different people.
They look like anyone who is normally in town. There were some with growths and
hold on a second. And he starts ruffling through some pages and he kind of brings up some notes and he says, "You gave away all the pages, but do you remember any names?"
We get names? I don't remember getting names.
We got that guy we were talking to, but I actually didn't write that name down.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, it's more about do you have any names at all? Like, how about Luke? A Luke Seer. Did you see that anywhere on any pages?
Can I like roll something to remember if I did?
Give me a second. I'm going to do a couple more names and then we'll have you roll. How about Anwin? Anwin Tanner. Or maybe Reese. Seriously, the name generator gave me Reese Beast. Seriously. Anyway,
we saw a Kerr and the Tormon Amberson.
Well, I didn't give you all the names from the ledger, so give me that intelligence.
Well, those are buyers, not
yeah. Those are buyers.
Yeah.
Sold.
So give me an intelligence check, Iylis, and Praedyth. You can do it too if you want, because you were both looking at the pages.
All right. Investigation check?
Intelligence.
Intelligence.
Just trying to remember something.
Right.
Ooh.
Nice.
Iylis's brain is working today.
You know what's going down.
Actually, the Anwin one actually does sound familiar. And he said he rattles off about 3 or 4 more names, and 2 of those also make sense or reminiscent of something you remember from the pages. And he's like, "These are some of the people that are kidnapped." Now,
how long ago were they kidnapped?
To be fair, what you found was a ledger, and so the names in that ledger are probably people who were sold to people. So they're probably not the people at the actual.
Yeah.
Can we tell him that? I didn't actually see the paperwork.
Yeah, you can tell him that.
Marcus can't.
Yeah, but you guys tell him that, and he's like, "Oh, well," but you say there's still 30 people out there, right?
Yeah, there's still a lot of people
so probably
out there.
Some of them are some of the people we lost.
Sure, they are.
Right,
and they're going to be in bad shape.
That gives me enough. What do you mean bad shape?
They're going to go through withdrawals. They were being given drugs in the morning and night, and now everyone's fled as far as the authorities there. The guards are dead or left. The farmers are put out the fire, and they're concerned because they owe debt, and that's why they're working the fields. So they're not sure what to do now. But then they didn't know anything about the slaves. We told them about it, and they thought they said they'd go out and try to help those people, but
right, but there's okay. You've given me enough. Tersay.
Draw a map.
Fuck it. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna get some men. We're going out there. I'm gonna stop by the main watch office and let the commandant know. But we're going out there. So,
you want one of us to go with you to show you where everything is?
I'll draw him a map for how to get to the approximately how to get to the drug fields.
Okay, I mean it's up to you. If you draw him a map, that's fine. And it's accurate enough. I mean, as far as you can tell.
We also found evidence of who they've sold more of the sea devil's eggs to.
Oh,
And
well, that gives me even more reason to go out there.
yes, and the Sons was sold to a Tormod Anderson.
The name doesn't ring a bell, but
He was in what town? Whatever town he was being sold
Rhux mentioned Calastria.
Calastria.
That he knew Tormod. Well, he had heard the name Tormod Amberson while he was a slave in Calastria. So whether that means the guy is in Calastria or not, you're not sure. But
And I'll say that.
okay, well, maybe I'll send some. The problem is that Calastria is a slave place, so I don't know if I can send word there. I know where I'll send word to. I'll send word to Lord Morven.
And
he has contacts there, I'm sure.
And he left this morning to the port on the other side of the island, was sailing away. We were going to give chase, but he was so far ahead. Martin Scare's probably gone.
Fair enough. All right.
But he went by carriage.
Good job. I will talk to the commandant about stuff, and we'll see. Actually, Marcus or Iylis give me a persuasion roll. With advantage.
Iylis, you want to roll it? Or do you want me to roll it?
I'll roll.
With advantage.
I'll give you Bardic on that.
I got a +4 on my persuasion.
I'll give Mark. Iylis, you've done well today. I'll give you Bardic inspiration. But you get to roll an extra D4 with it.
D4?
Yeah.
Yoink.
So 13.
13.
He says, I'll talk with the commandant and at least let him know the evidence you guys brought and stuff like that, and we'll see what we can do. Sit tight on your ship. We'll as soon as I get to the place and we get back, hopefully tomorrow, we can talk about what's happened and we'll go from there.
Was I able to
and
give
he's
him
starting
advantage?
To get things together. Yeah, you were.
Did you roll? You didn't roll with advantage though, did you, Iylis?
Wait, is it with advantage?
Yeah, I said with advantage.
Oh, my bad. I'll roll it again. I'm so good at this stuff.
So
Woo!
24 with the Bardic.
Yeah, it doesn't really change anything in the sense
Okay.
that
I didn't know if there was anything.
He's saying he was going to talk to them, and we'll see about where things are going and stuff like that. Hopefully, we'll get you some expenses paid and stuff like some of your expenses paid. All right, he's putting things together. He's like, I got to get going. See yourselves out, and he heads out the door.
Where is everyone? This is very quiet, by the way.
He starts shouting, and people start coming out of the barracks and stuff.
Okay, there you go.
There just happened to be nobody.
They were just
this particular time drilling. That's all.
Okay. I don't know if there was something, red herring, I guess is what that was.
Yeah, it was just occasionally I have to change some stuff up to make it just so it's not the same rote thing every time. All right, you guys head back to your ship?
Yes.
All right, you get back to your ship, and you can level up to level 6.
Woo!
Let's go.
So how do we get to the classes to actually drag a class onto my? I was looking earlier. I couldn't find where the class was.
It's probably under item, classes, and then look for
feature class. Okay. Oh, okay.
There's a classes.
I did. I searched the compendiums for fighter, and nothing came up.
The search doesn't seem to work very well.
That's yes.
From what I can see, I've searched in here and it does jack crap. So I don't know what else. I don't know what that's doing. I think it's searching. I think it's searching for. Yeah, it's searching on the name of the compendium, not in the compendium.
Oh,
which is dumb. Which is why. What's the point of this? But if you open up the SRD one, their fighter is in there. And you don't have to drag necessarily anything onto there. I mean, you already have the class in your item or on your character, unless you're going to add a new one. Unless you're going to multi-class, that's a different thing. But if you look at your PCs, if you look at yourself, so let's bring up Hylough. If you go to your
Sorcerer's
if you go to your
Origin
features,
feature.
you'll see your class levels, and if you actually edit it, you can edit the details and give yourself a level.
Okay.
And so then that'll give you a level 6. If you get something at level 6, you might have to drag that onto your thing, but it's just actually you just get an ability score improvement, so you can improve an ability score. So that's all you need to do there.
I have a Sorcerer's Origin feature. Do you have the Storm Sorcerer stuff?
Yeah, it should be in the items, I want to say. Class archetypes. Sorcerer, Storm Sorcery, but the question becomes, it's not, you see it. But now it will. So if you now reopen it, close and reopen.
Which archetypes?
Class archetypes.
Yeah, but there's like 5 or 8.
What do you mean there's 5 or 8? Not a compendium, in the items directory.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. So there's the Dungeon Masters one, there's the Player's Handbook
No,
one.
that's compendium.
Oh, okay.
The items directory is the 4th one, 5th one, actually. 1, 2, actually maybe the 4th one for you guys. Yeah, it's the 4th one on your little bar at the top. On your
Stormy
tabs.
Waters. What it is?
No. Sorcerer, Storm Sorcery right here.
Oh, there it is.
You get Heart of the Storm and Storm Guide.
Interesting. Resistance to lightning and thunder damage.
Yep.
Cool.
That same thing, actually, Brian has your Warlock thing. So for 6th level, you get Soul of Fate. Which is kind of freaky. You can merge with the Raven.
Oh,
yeah, I saw that. I pulled it in. It should be fun.
Oh, that's kind of freaky. But okay.
So his physical body can merge?
Yeah.
It's not
When
just
the
his mind?
Raven-
Yeah, me and
wow.
the Raven become one.
Yeah, they became
That
one.
is
I'm a
pretty
Raven.
cool. Oh, are you a giant Raven? Because that would be even cooler, but weirder.
No, I'm tiny.
Well,
Human-sized Raven?
it's a giant Raven to
Mhm.
him because it's a Raven and he's a gnome. But to
Oh,
you,
that's
it's
true.
still a Raven. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Those are the big things.
Okay, so
and
we still have some stuff on our plate. Do we want to keep going?
Well, yeah, I was going to keep going, but let
Okay.
me make sure. Okay, so
Sorry.
there was. I'm just trying to make sure there was nothing
I'm
special
going to grab
for
a drink.
the
I'll
Paladin.
step away just a
Real
second.
quick. There was nothing special for the Paladin because Rhux I will update as well. All right, so reminder of things that you still have open. Technically, Martin Sklar is still open. He is a fugitive from justice. If you wish to go find him, you can. You can. It's up to you guys. There is the Dark Metal Axes that a couple of you have. There is Dresd'a's thing. Remember, she was contacted in a dream and asked to find an item or something called the Eternal Eye. Praedyth also had some kind of dream of some sort to try to find some temple ruins. Let's see. A few of you are still trying to get to Emerdal for various reasons. There were some notes that were found on the Sea Spray, the ship you currently occupy, that were written in code. You haven't figured out what the code is. And probably more directly immediate, Perry is still being held captive by the Fist. Just need to spend some money on him, and you can have him back. And then, yeah, so while you guys are kind of doing that sort of stuff, True had mentioned, as you were putting things on the deck and things like that, that she had found three people to help on the ship. They are total noobs, though, and so she's going to try to teach them the ropes. One is called, I'm trying to find the crew names. Here we go. One is called Keto Trinier, one is called Melwin Penketh, and one is called Conan Tregear. And just so happens that's the way things come up on this stupid name generator. It tends to do a lot of the same last name things. She's like, these guys are gonna be swabs for a while. But actually, I had the wrong person on the rigging. Melwyn should have been on the rigging. Melwyn was the girl with the pink hair. She also mentions to you guys that she's found 4 experienced sailors, but they want to actually meet with the first mate and the captain before they'll sign on. And since True doesn't know who that is, she has decided to wait for you guys to tell her when she should set up a meeting with the first mate and the captain.
Or group
Yeah, who are those people?
captains and
Group meeting.
first mates.
I mean, you can totally tell her, hey, just set up a time for a meeting and we'll all be there. That's perfectly legit. It's fine. It's just that those 4 wanted to meet the first mate and the captain. So, I mean, however you guys want to approach it, that was their response. So those are the current open things that you have. Potentially meeting some crew, getting Perry back. Remember, for you, Praedyth, the people that are holding Perry, the leader of it has an alabaster mask that has raven-like feathers on it, based on what Rat said.
Yeah, Praedyth would be interested in that.
And it is currently mid-afternoon. Oh, and you guys might want to go through all the loot you just got.
Yeah, that's what I was
I want to count up all the coins, I guess.
So that's probably the other thing I should really say out. So Marcus, you remember you have that letter of marque.
Yes, I do.
The Locks box, as you kind of go through everything, has 2,900 gold marks and 70 platinum marks. There are 7 art objects. You think they're probably worth somewhere between 15 and 30 gold marks each. There are 15 gems. 13 of them are relatively small, but 2 of them are diamonds. There's the chainmail. There's these gauntlets. There's the cape and the slippers. And I think that's everything from there. Oh, and the gold collar.
Nice.
With the 2 emeralds. So, what do you guys want to do with that? With any of that?
Who has detect magic?
Me. I got it.
And Aaron, what do you want us to detect magic on this stuff since
Yes.
you wanted one of them? Okay.
Okay, detecting magic. Kind of putting the things out. The chainmail is not magical.
That's surprising.
The gauntlets are, the cape is, and the slippers are.
Yo, what are the slippers?
Also, the gold collar is as well.
Wait, the slippers were too?
Yep.
The slippers are magic?
Yep.
What kind of magic are they?
I told you, I gave you an investigation roll. If you did well on the investigation roll, I had you find the things that were of worth.
Please, not now.
Well, I'm thinking, like, what kind of magic is it exactly?
I
tell?
I don't know.
Well, I'll spend the next hour identifying the 4 things using rituals.
Like, they're probably all alteration, to be honest.
Okay.
There's slippers of silent walking in the middle of the night when you have to go to the
However,
bathroom.
the magic on the collar is enchantment.
Aha.
Actually, probably they're mostly enchantment as well. But Marcus, you spend the next
I know it's only 40 minutes, but I figured switching time.
The gauntlets are gauntlets of ogre power.
Oh wow!
Ooh.
The cape is a cape of the Mountebank. The slippers are slippers of spider climb. The gold collar, you can't seem to identify.
Okay.
Something is. You identify that if you place the collar on someone, they become charmed. That you identify, but you don't know what. There's no name for it or anything like that. I guess that's the right way to put it. You also identify that it has a secondary power, which is it will silence any spellcaster that has it around their neck.
Okay. Which is why she had it on. What was the cape of? You said the name.
Mountebank.
Mountebank. Okay. so I'm not sure what that does.
It
I can look
does
it
the
up, or-
following. Cape of Mountebank.
What were the gauntlets close it? Overpower?
Ogre power, yep.
Yeah, those are nasty. I mean, that's definitely
Is it-
fighter
The
esque.
cape smells faintly of brimstone. While wearing it, you can use it to cast Dimension Door spell as an action.
Oh,
And it can't be used again until the next zone, so you can only do it once.
That's cool.
Does it have to be attuned?
Does not say so. Yeah, it doesn't
I'm
say
not
you have to be
okay,
attuned.
fellas. What about the gauntlets?
I believe the gauntlets do have to be attuned.
Okay, and what precisely do they do?
I believe they give you a strength of 19, but I'll give you that. in a
yeah,
second.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Yes, they do require attunement, and you get a strength of 19 while you wear the gauntlets.
What about the slippers?
Slippers allow you
Slippers
to
a spider climb.
I mean,
No,
that
attunement.
one's in the name.
No, I meant attunement wise.
That's a good question. They require attunement.
Okay, somebody can have those. You know what? I'll give it to my good friend Marcus.
Oh, thank you.
Well, that if he votes for me to be captain.
There. While you wear these light shoes, you can move up, down, and across critical surfaces and upside down along ceilings. They do require attunement, though, while leaving your hands free. You have a climb
I
speed
definitely-
equal to your walking speed. However, the slippers don't allow you to move this way on a slippery surface, such as one covered by ice or oil.
What?
Well, I could definitely use them.
The chainmail looks really nice. It's just not magical.
Can we get an appraisal of the chainmail?
Well,
Intelligence roll or something, or
let me check something, and then I will tell you. Yeah, you can give me an intelligence check. Are you a dwarf? I know you're not a dwarf.
I
so
feel short.
Just go for it. Hey, just roll your intelligence check.
I know. Unless somebody else knows. Does anybody else have a better? Okay, never mind. I'll just roll.
You're pretty sure it's made of adamantine.
Ooh.
And what that means is that while you're wearing it, any critical hit against you becomes a normal hit. So you don't take criticals while you're wearing it.
It's really
Adamantine.
useful.
Yeah, that's very solid.
So it's not magical, but because it's made of adamantine,
But it's so well
gotta-
done.
Okay. Well,
That's
see,
solid.
what I'm hearing here is that I have leverage to become El Capitan.
Do you really want
to be captain?
Yes.
Of course, I want to be captain. I'm cool like that.
Do you really think you have leverage?
Not for you, Raven boy.
We could make him believe that.
I mean,
We can allow him to
Whatever.
believe it.
yeah, I mean, sure,
I mean,
you have leverage.
I will say, Cole, that becoming captain means you're going to have to, be the face of the group
Talk.
and talk a lot
I
more.
am. I'm talking right now.
Just saying.
Talking right now.
But can you do it without getting us in fights consistently? I don't have a problem with it.
Mhm.
I've
Alright.
been known as the
Voice of wisdom,
yeah, sure, let's go with
Voice
that.
of
raising an
great negotiator.
eyebrow.
So we're gonna allow Cole to be captain and Marcus to be first mate.
I thought I was quartermaster.
Yeah.
Well, no, Marcus is quartermaster.
Oh, okay. All right.
I can be first mate if you want me to.
Well,
and
Iylis is navigator, right?
Hold on.
Yeah, I'm
Where's the
navigator.
Praedyth can be first mate, I guess.
Okay.
Well, you're our ship driver, aren't you?
I'm the helmsman, aren't I?
Who
No, I'm
do
not.
you want? Okay, so who do we want to
Because,
be in charge?
having the
Space
shortest
guys
person be the
talking.
helmsman
Yeah,
is always
that's
a
what I
great
like.
plan.
It's pretty funny.
We've
Look at him
got
a box.
boxes and
I know.
barrels
I know, it's
set
just
behind
funny.
the wheel.
I mean, when you were on the Maiden's Folly, Perry was your helmsman, and he was also a gnome, so, it checks out.
I mean, I don't mind being the helmsman. I'm perfectly fine being the helmsman. I just didn't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
Wow.
stay helmsman. Me and Iylis can be the navigation team.
I'll do first mate. If nobody else wants it, I'll take it.
Well, I don't know. Well,
Cool.
who should True should be what? She should be.
Drew's like, don't you put me in any of this. I'm perfectly fine being second mate or just,
You want to be a
just in charge-
quartermaster?
You just want to be in
Drew's our
charge of the
mean-
crew.
Mean person.
Well, technically, the first mate is in charge of the crew, but I'm just
Okay.
teaching. I can be teaching.
Okay. All right. I mean, I just don't have any. I don't know what I can do, but I don't know. I don't have any particular.
I could
You don't
do
have, like, a
quartermaster
specified
and
job?
first mate. It's not that
I
different.
No,
just,
no,
I
you-
don't
no,
know. Praedyth can do helmsman and first mate. It's not a big issue.
I've got
So-
nothing to do. So put me
Okay,
in a
I'm
role.
naming
Then do
Hylough my
something.
Well,
first mate.
so here's the question. Here's a question you guys got to ask yourself. And this is Pete talking to you guys as a
Right,
group,
right.
not as your characters here. When you reach a place, for instance, Maribal, or for instance, let's say you go to Clastria or Emerdal next, and you get off the ship and you do a bunch of stuff for a while. Who's running the ship? Who do you want to run the ship? And if that person, whoever you pick there, maybe they should be first mate because then they have the authority to be able to speak for you and things like that.
Smart.
That's the first question I have for you. Second question is, do you guys want to be the captain in any of the crew at all anyway? Would you rather just hire a captain and a first mate? You have money.
Nah.
I mean, you own the ship still, but you
Yeah.
don't necessarily have to be the ones that are
Well,
sailing it.
I don't think
So
we need to hire a
hiring-
captain,
hiring-
but maybe a
Just
first
these
mate.
are just questions I'm asking so that you guys
Hiring
think
your
about it,
first
that's all.
mate would be an excellent idea. Captain,
Yeah, I don't think we need to hire a captain.
True would be an excellent first mate, but she doesn't want. I guess
Well, no,
doesn't
she would
want
be.
it.
I just said that because I was thinking you guys wanted to be all the stuff, but it occurs to me that when you leave the ship because
Yeah,
you're
we need-
doing something, you need to have somebody there who's going to be the authority for you. And
Or
so
we
it's
try-
fine.
we
I think
trust
should be
True.
true.
Yeah,
It
that's
makes
fine.
True
sense.
could
It's true.
True could be the quartermaster because
She's-
she's fairly honest. Everyone trusts her, and she can stay on the ship and handle the money.
Have authority.
I mean, first mate can be that too. So, I mean, she can be the first
I
mate
know.
for you if you'd like. That's fine. You just need to
Okay.
let her know that and let me know that. And then I will say, okay, well, great. She's the first mate. You guys have got a
But-
different captain. Maybe it's Aaron. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's all of you. I don't really care. I just want to remind you that, like, you had multiple hours today in this particular game today where you guys were nowhere near the ship. So somebody has to be in charge while that's the case.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would think
Which
that would be
just
true.
makes sense to be
but-
true. Because that's basically what she's been doing anyway.
Right.
But I think she could do that as quartermaster, and I'd give it because I think hiring a first mate would be good because none of us are great in sailors at this point, and having someone who is much more competent than we are would not be a bad idea. And we can have sailors underneath us, but we
Well,
don't want.
remember,
We want
she
our,
said-
Not
also
that
remind
experienced,
you, just to remind you that True said she found 4 people who do have sailing experience. That they just wanted to see the first mate and the captain before they signed up. That's all.
right.
So she has
Mhm.
found some people with sailing experience. It's just up to you guys to decide when you want to meet them and have your story straight about who's what. That's all.
I think we should make True the first mate because, like, she's got sailing experience,
If she'll
and
take
she already does basically run the ship when we're not here anyway, and when we are here. So it's like, I think she's already in with the crew, especially the ones she just hired,
Yeah.
and the other people already know her. So she can be first mate, and then I don't know. We can do captain by committee, or we can do whatever we want with that. But I think True should be the first mate.
Drew, would you be our first mate?
Okay. I just don't want this to take forever. I want you guys to
I know that's exactly right.
Yeah.
So
No, it's just more about, this is minor in comparison to other things. So and as I pointed out, you really do need somebody who will be
I'll stay quartermaster. Are we okay with Aaron being captain?
Yeah, we're okay with Aaron being.
Some nice slippers, and Aerra says yes. No, but in all actuality, I'm giving Marcus the slippers, and I'm going to give Hylough the armor if he wants it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what would that do to me?
It's chainmail, but you'd lose critical hits cannot happen on you.
Right.
Which is
But-
awesome. But
but
what
what do I
mail do you
lose?
have on now?
I think I just have leather. I'm not sure. Let me think. What do I got?
I think because of your Corsair,
I actually have chainmail, but I don't
Okay.
have. Yeah.
Then it would be
So-
better. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
do you
okay.
actually
So
have chainmail?
it's on my list on my sheet here.
I'm just making sure
What's your
because
armor class?
I thought maybe there was something special about because of the Corsair that you had to be in leather or something like that, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm kind of the more I whack people, and really, and put them in their place, the more
Yeah, you
I'm
do
like
have
this
chainmail.
whole finesse thing is just for sissies. I'm ready to go full on. I'm like, I'm ready to fight, and so I'm gonna take that chainmail. So
Okay. Yeah, that's weird. There's nothing here. All your stuff is just fortune stuff, actually. So yeah, you don't
Which is
have
good.
anything related to having just that you be leather or anything like that, based on what I'm
Okay.
seeing. Yep. So you're fine. Yeah. I mean, you already had chainmail, so that's all good too. So you now have adamantine chainmail, which basically, like I said, just means you can't be critical hit.
okay.
And I'm taking the gauntlets and the cape.
You're taking the gauntlets and the cape. Wow. Greedy, you little bastard.
Read.
I found him.
He risked his life to get those stuff out of me.
Well,
I went
as
into
far
a
as the
burning
as far as,
building.
As far as the cape, what about giving our sorcerer the cape? Because if they identify it as a magic item, you might be hunted. Our sorcerer's already being hunted.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, I'm gonna give the cape to Iylis.
I don't think they got a problem with the items.
Yeah. Good
I think
good convincing there, but you're correct. I don't care about the items.
I think the biggest problem is
Okay.
the actual people, but
I don't care who has it. I was just trying to shit. And I do think one of our sorcerers to get the hell out of Dodge is a good idea.
Well, technically,
but-
he has that ability with his ability to cast a spell and move 30 feet without attack of opportunity.
yeah.
Praedyth. But it's a dimension door.
Good.
Yeah, dimension door is
Anything
good.
like
You're
dimension
gonna
door.
trip over the road.
That's for
cloak.
all of us.
I might.
Right?
It's a cape, but yeah. I mean, a cape
Cape though.
to somebody might be a robe to Praedyth, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Fall.
that's
A very
fine, though.
large
I mean-
robe. You know, Yoda, Dungeon Master, it's got kind of train behind it kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, I'm down with the Yoda vibe. Can take Praedyth in a Yoda direction, just a murderous Yoda instead of a peaceful.
Yeah, very murderous.
How cool does the cape look?
Let's see.
He's fate's instrument. It was
Okay,
their
hold
fate
on.
to
We
die
can't give it to
at that time.
Praedyth.
How cool does
we-
the cape look?
We can't
It's
give it to
important
Praedyth
detail.
because the person who goes with them must be his size or smaller.
Yeah, so you're making it so nobody can come.
So
Yes,
never
that's
mind on
true.
that one.
Yes, that's very true.
Iylis, you don't want it, Robert?
I mean, I'll take the cloak.
Or Cat?
He
Cat
already
has a good
something
option.
like that.
I'm very interested in the cloak unless somebody else really needs it.
Just remember, I mean, it'll let you and someone else get out of there.
Yeah, I mean,
You
that
can
would
transport
be really
one other
useful.
person, and it has to be your
It
size or
does-
smaller.
I'm
But
the
say-
most likely to
say
dip,
we're
and also the
disengaging
most likely to
somewhere.
take at least one person with me when I dip.
Say we're disengaging somewhere, and like we have 2 tanks buying time for that, and then we have one person with the dimension door with the cape who can just dimension door out of there.
You mean one of the tanks?
Like
Again, if you want to make yourself a target, that's fine. I'm just. So actually, can a tank use it?
Yeah, it doesn't require attunement.
Does it? Okay, but magic
you can only cast
magic items.
No, you can. If it doesn't require attunement, anybody can use it.
Okay.
What's the
It doesn't require
limitations?
attunement, and the limitation is it can only be done once per day. You can only
Which is
cast
fine.
Dimension
The
Door
daily
once per day.
It's more than I can cast it now.
Hence the reason why it doesn't require
Okay.
attunement.
You
because
guys figure it out.
it's
I'm
basically a
good
daily
with it.
power.
I'll give it to Iylis or Dresd'a.
Sweet.
All right,
Okay.
who has it? Iylis or Dresd'a?
I'll take it.
All right, just so we know who
But I
has
am
I'm
taking,
taking
the
it.
gauntlets.
I'm
All
taking
right,
the
so
cloak. It's mine. I'm putting it on.
Hylough has adamantine chainmail, so I can remember to put this on you guys. Iylis has Cape of the Mountebank.
Sounds so
Let's see
cool.
here. Aaron has gauntlets. Is there anything else?
Slipper. I've got the
Oh, yeah.
slippers of spider climb.
Marcus has the slippers.
And the collar we should hide at best, maybe get rid of it worst. I mean, that's not
Praedyth would like the collar.
Yeah, I don't
Good
think we should
study.
get rid of it. I think we
Research.
could use it on prisoners.
as long as people don't
Well,
see it, because I don't think
Yeah.
it's something. If anybody identifies it, that's probably not something that.
Yeah, I
people want
agree.
to-
We should probably hide it.
Got a lot
Praedyth
of things
doesn't
we need
mind
to
finding
hide.
on his person.
Is it noticeable? I wasn't here for the description. Is it a noticeable slave collar, or is it just a gold?
Yep, I said it was
I mean,
a
it's hard-
golden collar around her neck.
Yeah, so that's I can't imagine that's not like a slave collar to me. Or
It is a slave collar.
okay, got it. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely you can't pass it off with something else. So hide it.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll hide it. I want to do some further research on the magic and things like that.
Okay.
If I wake up with that on my deck.
Well, then I'll have the captain under my command, so it'll be fine.
Okay. Of course, he can't talk, but anyway. So I need to go sell the alcohol. We need to free our sailor, Aaron. How much money? We had 2,600. Was that it?
No, I said 2,900 plus
2,900,
70
thank you.
platinum. Plus you had the 800 you sold the previous in the morning. So
Yeah.
you guys are very much flush with cash.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we could
More
definitely
than you know,
afford
isn't that right,
to-
Marcus?
Yes, it is.
Oh, remember, there's also 15 gems, which you haven't really done.
Yeah, we got to get with 2 of which are diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Marcus is going to give some of that
And
back.
some art.
I'm taking note of the 2,900 gold pieces and the 70 platinum.
Yeah, I got it written down too, but
That is some cash right there.
We also have a horse to sell.
we have
None of this really matters.
4 horses. to
Technically,
sell.
Yeah,
yeah,
technically.
Five horses.
Hey guys, I know this place that we could go to that sells some pretty cool things. And they may have
And-
kicked us out last time, but hear me out. We've got like money now.
That's
Mhm.
fine.
Well, let's finish hiring people for the crew. And do we want to sell to? We need to take Ariana. Is that where is she need to go again?
Ariana's still with the kidnapped people, remember?
Okay,
Because
she stayed there.
Lieutenant Sinan kept all those guys there because he wants to question them and things like that.
Oh, I
she
thought
was
she,
coming with us though.
yeah, I thought I
She
assumed
wants
she
to
was coming
come
with
with
us,
you, but it's
She-
not
we
going to
didn't-
happen when you took her to where all the guards were. That now are like, oh, she was captured, so now she's a
Oh.
material witness and all that sort of stuff.
Wow, we screwed
Well,
that up.
you guys
Oops.
really. Did
I thought
good
she
job
would be on a
there.
horse, but we didn't actually say that, so
No.
it doesn't matter. Well, we can go negotiate and get her out.
At some point. Yes,
I think we can
Remember,
try.
they want to talk to you tomorrow morning anyway. Both
Yeah.
of them want to talk to you tomorrow morning. Ironically.
Do we want to take her? That's actually good. Do we want to take her to where she wants to go? Is that where our next port of call is going to be?
I
No,
mean,
but she can at least come on the
Well,
ship.
I would say your next port of call might be the Two Palms, where you can try to figure out where Perry's at.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good idea. How much did they want?
Oh no,
500?
that's I'm sorry. That's a port though. I'm talking about cities.
I
But
know.
anyway,
The
I'm
Two
way down
Palms
there.
is a
Gotcha.
tavern, so
Yeah,
I
Two
know.
Palms is. Yeah, I did mention we need to rescue Perry. Well,
Yep.
maybe I didn't, but I did in my
No,
head.
you mentioned it. It's just everybody. You mentioned it and glossed over it, and immediately went on to the next thing. It's awesome.
Yeah.
They want 500. Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys want to go, we need to all go together to pay this, or at least enough of us so they won't screw us and take the money and keep Perry.
Mhm.
Praedyth would like to stay on the ship and do some.
Oh, Praedyth, remember the people who have Perry have the mask.
Oh right, I forget. I keep forgetting that. Yeah,
I keep
and
telling you.
Praedyth will
this.
go. If we're going to get Perry,
Let's go
then
save
Praedyth will
Perry,
go with
guys.
them.
All right.
If we're
Well,
not going to get Perry, then Praedyth is going to stay on the ship.
If
Let's
we
go
know
save
they want
Perry.
500, we should take only 500, not a penny more.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
That's a good idea.
Although if they say they want more, what are we going to do?
Not pay them a cent more.
Kill them.
They want
Yeah,
kill 'em
500.
all.
Kill them, murder them with our bare hands.
I don't know.
That's
if you know
right,
that,
we're
but
supposed to be
level
pirates.
6 now.
Arr.
Toll of the Dead and stuff like that.
Wow, it's amazing how this group went from, oh, I don't know if we really want to kill anybody. Like, we probably want to be privateers. To,
To murder
we're going to
hobos
murder
the rest."
everybody as we ever see.
Yeah. Again, though, we're going to have to be on their home turf. We're going to be in their.
I would also
Yeah.
remind you that
Domiciles
it's
and
one
be
thing
outnumbered.
to fight guards in self-defense. There's some gray
Yeah, we can't
area
go
about
out.
there's some gray area about Praedyth murdering the 2 guards in cold blood, but only you guys saw it. So but going into an inn or a tavern or something like that and fighting somebody and killing them, that's going to be subjected to, city laws and stuff. So
Yeah, well, I'm not going in there with the intention, but if they're going to extort us and not release,
Yeah, they did
I'm-
imprison somebody against their
the
will,
only
and that's probably
danger
illegal too.
with that is I would say bring 600 so we have some leeway in negotiation power.
Or the collar on the leader. We can use the collar on the leader. And
Again, they're not going to
make
let us
him-
put the collar on the leader because we're going into it. They have all the power.
They do.
We have to go see them, meet them. They're going to have guards there. They're not going to give us an advantage unless, they've been in power too long. That's just not how I would expect it to happen. If it does, but yeah, it would be, we'd have to
we
leave
could,
town immediately. Let's just
we
do
could
this.
go full on pirate and lock the door and set the hut on fire and kill anybody who comes out.
How
Well,
are we gonna
we're
find Perry, then?
in the place that's on fire.
no, she's saying do it from the outside. But again,
Yeah.
No
It
witnesses.
feels so
you're
Perry,
in the
but
city,
In the middle of the
burning
city,
down a
burning
tavern
down
in the middle of the
tavern.
city.
There's
Guess
definitely
who's going to be
witnesses.
charged
what in
and
the
thrown
world
in
happened
jail?
to this group?
I don't know what you're
I
talking
I don't
know.
want to be the
about.
moral compass.
Jesus.
Oh,
well,
Why
We
I
are,
don't
was-
we
we are
just take
far away. We
600
are a
and
long way
let's
away
go?
from, hey, here you go, Iylis. Somebody took your money. Here you go to, let's just kill him, Mr. Hylough.
well, no, I was just saying if they're not going to honor their word, and we're going to be,
Okay.
they're going to try to put us over the barrel. and
You
everything
guys
like
take 500. I'll take the extra 100 out of my money just in case.
There's
that. Okay, all right, yeah,
serious-
just keep it in your back
serious
pocket.
paranoia
Don't.
here is all I'm saying.
Are we
Alright.
splitting the money?
Also, I need to sell the ale at some point. So, do we want to
I
go?
know, I'm just saying.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
listing it for the crew. So let's go rescue Perry now.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're
Get that
heading over there.
done.
we're
Right.
coming, Perry.
All right, so you get Rat, who knows where to go for this,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
says, "All right, we need to go to the Two Palms, talk to Roderick. Roderick will get us in touch with somebody who will take us to where Perry is. So let's go."
Right. Let's do that, and then let True know and where we're going, etc., etc. Make sure everyone knows.
Okay. Drew's like, whatever.
Not that she's going to come rescue us or
you do
anything,
you.
but yeah, exactly.
If you don't show up by the morning, I'll know you're dead.
Yes.
All right. You guys take off down to the docks. You have to cross over because the Two Palms is in the squalls. Squalls or dives? I named some too many.
Called it
things.
the Squalls, I think.
Yeah. And takes you down around that side, past all the places you've been to before, past the temple and into the squalls, which takes about 10 minutes or so to get to. You come up outside a place called the Two Palms. And as you're coming up on it, you can hear some cheers and shouts coming on from inside. Clearly a pretty decent clientele inside. Opening the door, blast of kind of warm, hot, muggy air. Kind of smells a little bit of sweat, a little bit of shit. It's not a great place. But walking in, you see part of the reason why it's not such a great place. Over to the one side is a fighting pit. And right now there is literally a half-orc, greenskin half-orc, pummeling away at this 7-foot tall gray-skinned man who is also like taking it and kind of just smiling and whack, and just hits him once in the face, and the orc half-orc just slams into the ground, kind of tries to get up, and then just crumples and goes unconscious. And a whole bunch of cheers go up, a few like and you see money change hands and a few things of that nature. And straight in front of you is the main bar itself. Rat kind of looks at the thing and kind of like goes, "Oh yeah, that guy was fighting the other night too." Continues in and heads over to the bar, and you guys come upon a man. I gotta remember if he's a human or yeah, just a human, a diary male man, kind of relatively thin, pencil thin mustache. He kind of looks at you guys as you kind of come up, and then he recognizes Rat and he says, "You finally got all the money you're meant to pay for your friend? Since you guys were swindlers and cheats?" Rat's like, he looks at you guys. It's like, kind of sort
Yes.
of implying, "Yes, we have the money." And the guy's like, "Your mom and pa here?" looking at the group behind him. Like, yeah, kind of. Name's Roderick. Give me a minute. I'll send somebody out for Anion, and he'll take you to where you need to go. So have a seat. Maybe buy a drink or two.
Thank you.
You guys find this place to sit. You can see the large gray-skinned man. He's not like a Goliath or anything like that. He's just a Verduran. He's just hugely tall. He's taller than the previous Verduran you saw, who was still pretty tall. He goes over to the corner, and you can see that they're kind of chatting about who might fight him next. And suddenly you hear the call of, who wishes to go against Rasputin the Magnificent? Anybody here want to do that?
Nope.
Any takers? This guy kind of walks up and kind of like, it's kind of you think he's a dwarf, but he's a little too tall for a dwarf. He kind of looks at Verduran Rasputin clearly. He's like, aye, I'll take a shot. We have a challenger. I start the betting at... He looks at him again. 15-1. And people start going off and start betting. At that point, Roderick comes over with a whole bunch of mugs. You didn't order anything, but he sets them all down. He says, drinks, not on the house. And he heads back over. There's enough for a single drink for each of you.
I will sip my drink.
Yeah.
It's an ale. It's a little watery, but not too much so, which is strange for a place like this. Like, you would expect this to be, having been in taverns and stuff before, this seems like just the kind of place that would sell pretty watery ale. But it's not. It's actually not. It's there's a little water to it, but not very much. So you drink that for a bit, and about 10 minutes later, the door opens, and in walks a halfling. And this halfling...
See a picture. Let's see a picture.
Looks like this.
I knew you had a picture. Oh, cool.
And he's kind of looking around, and he nods to the guy behind the bar, whose name is Roderick, if I didn't mention that before. And Roderick, you notice Roderick kind of nod towards your table. And this halfling kind of slowly walks over towards your table, and he gets about 5 feet away, so kind of just out of reach for a really long-reached weapon. And he's like, "You're the guys?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess so. Are you the guy?
Here to take you to your gnome friend. You got the money?
Yep.
500 marks?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Follow me then. And he turns and starts walking.
Follow him.
All right, as he starts... Yeah, go
How
ahead.
much was the ale? Do we pay?
Roderick says, "Oh, for the 7 of them, that'll be a silver mark."
I'll give him a silver.
Yeah, I mean, it's ale. It's not that expensive. Probably, in fact, you're probably overpaying because it's probably a copper each. But
Yeah.
you throw him a silver, and he's like, "Much obliged. Keep your wits about you." You do notice that Roderick has a similar tattoo, but not necessarily on his face, like the halfling does.
Can I roll a thieves' knowledge or something along those lines to see if I recognize that tattoo?
You can roll an intelligence check.
Oh,
Knowledge history, maybe.
Do I have that? Nope, I don't have either one of those. Don't have any intelligence. Let's roll it.
You don't have any intelligence, but tonight you do.
I was gonna say I roll well.
The tattoo is not really. It's tangential to thieves' cant, and it basically does say the fist.
Okay.
But it's tangential. It's not like it's truly thieves' cant, but you get the gist of what it's saying. The halfling takes you through the twisty ways of the squalls until it takes maybe 4 or 5 minutes. It doesn't take that long. until he enters a dilapidated and abandoned warehouse on the eastern side of the city. As you guys walk in through the kind of the door that's sort of half off, you see Perry is literally sitting there at a table playing cards with 3 other guys. As you guys walk in,
Isn't that what got you here in the first place, Barry?
Up, as you say that, he looks up. He's like, yeah, maybe a little bit, but I'm not cheating these guys. They'd kill me if I cheated." And they all look at each other and look at him, and they nod. The halfling's like,
Oh.
"Yeah, Perry here's been relatively good about it. I mean, it's taking a little longer than we expected." "Yeah, Rat, what took you so long? I mean, well, they're not bad, but they're not great at cards, though, either." And the 2 of the guys look at each other, and they look at the little pile of money next to them and the larger pile of money next to Perry, and like, yeah, and the halfling's like, "All right, Perry's here. You got the money. Why don't you pay us the money, and we'll give you Perry."
All right. So
And over the
pull out
that-
the money.
Do I see insight? Do I sense anything
Sure. give
other
me an
than a
insight.
normal deal
I mean,
in this?
the halfling seems on the level.
Okay. Give him the gold.
All right, you guys pull out a thing of 500 gold marks and pass it, give it to the halfling, and the halfling says, "Good doing business with you, Perry. You can go whenever you want." Perry's like, "Can I finish the hand first?"
Let's go, Perry.
Yeah, we're leaving.
Fine. Good pleasure doing business with you. Don't get caught cheating at one of our establishments again, says the halfling.
Keywords don't get caught.
Yeah. Praedyth, you don't see anybody here with a mask.
Can I do like a perception check or something?
You don't see anybody here with a mask. You can ask questions, though.
Now you told me that there was people here with masks. Where are the people with
Rat
masks?
says, "Oh, no." Rat's like, "Oh, you mean the woman with the mask? I don't know why she's not here." And at that, the halfling kind of slowly turns around and says, "Why do you care about the mask?"
Well, the mask, from what they described to me, is obviously the mask of the Mistress of Fate, who I serve. So I want to see who is using her likeness.
Well, I mean, our leader is kind of a mistress of fates. Yeah, that seems like something she might be called. Yeah. You want to see her? You want to meet her?
Yes. Yes, I would.
Yeah. Probably could arrange that. Probably even yet
Perhaps
today.
an audience.
Probably arrange that. Probably even yet today. Or let's say 150, 200 gold marks.
Why would I have to pay for an audience?
She's a busy woman.
Coming out of your pocket.
And I sense a business opportunity when I see one. She would demote me like nobody's business if I didn't make you pay to have an audience.
Can I do like either insight on him and then like an intelligence or history check on for myself to know if I know that's how Azra would act through somebody like that?
Well, you don't need an intelligence check to know that Azra would do that, but you can give me an
She
insight
wouldn't
check.
do that.
Yeah, Azra wouldn't. What does she need money for?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, would the person, if that type of person would be someone she acts through? I'll do an insight check real quick.
I mean, Azra acts through many in many strange ways, even to you. So it's hard to say.
That's true.
Hard to say.
I don't even know how much money I have. I don't think Praedyth has 150 gold pieces.
Depends on whether or not you guys want to divide up the treasure.
Yeah, that's why I was asking earlier. Are we going to divide the treasure or not?
Yeah, I mean, you could have 150 gold. I mean, you would have that much.
Well, we haven't figured out how much it's going to cost us to get everything we need. And I mean, I guess some people are going to go shopping at the place.
Well, Praedyth's not
Crystal-
interested in shopping.
Crystal Palace. So you can, okay, that's fine then.
I'll give you 100.
The halfling kind of jumps up on the chair and then jumps up under the table and sits down and starts swinging his legs a little bit. And he's like, "You seem a bit more desperate than that. 150."
Oh, I'm not desperate. Fate will guide me to another chance, but this is an opportunity, and I would love to seize it. So I'll give you 100.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Yeah.
All's well put. You only have 100. Are you sure about this? And I'll say it loud enough to let him know, kind of giving him an advantage under persuasion.
Yeah, you don't give him an advantage. It's too late. You'd rolled already.
Okay.
He's like, now you've intrigued me. All right, 100 it is. Let's go.
Okay. Perfect.
He hops down on the thing. He says, "It'll take a little bit." And he seems to make a sort of a hand gesture to one of the guys. And then he heads out the warehouse.
Praedyth will follow.
Right? Anybody
You
else
said
going
let's
with him?
go, right?
Yeah, he said, "Let's go."
Yeah, Praedyth will follow then.
Do you have the 100 gold? I mean,
50
let's
on
go
me.
with it. Let's go with them. I'll give you the other 50.
Okay.
So he starts heading out. And
Don't let him go by himself.
Walking down the city streets until he reaches a sewer grate, which he then kind of moves over with his hands and slides it around. And below there is some rungs that go down into the sewers. And he's like, "Hope you don't mind getting a little dirty. Sewers over here are not known for getting washed through very often during the rain." And he climbs down into it and starts walking along the side.
I'm sure we'll manage. And I'll follow them.
All right, so he
I'll follow. Is anyone else going? Is our party going?
is everybody going or not?
I mean, I was planning on going.
Yeah, I'm going.
I don't really want to go. I don't really care.
I'm always
But-
down to
but
see
if-
some mystical lady.
You don't have to go. I'm just asking who's going.
I am in.
I'm going.
No, I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna go talk to the. I'm gonna go get out of the shingles here where we are,
Squalls.
and look for a decent bar that can try to sell the ale that, or sort of scout a place that might.
Okay, so you're going to start
the
looking in
ale.
the city for ale, for selling ale. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'll get back to you then. So he starts walking. He leads you guys through the sewers for about 15 minutes. Twists and turns. Kind of round through the things. So it's something narrowed down sometimes to the point where you kind of are stooped to walk a little bit. He's a halfling. He's not. The gnome is not either. But the rest of you are kind of stooped a little bit as you're walking through some of these tunnels. Eventually he gets to a spot where there's another set of rungs that go up, and he goes up the rungs and he comes out into an alleyway outside of a pretty ramshackle building. Certainly not a warehouse, but he's kind of near where there's some stairs that go up to a little ledge with an entryway, and he leads you up there. And at the top there's a guy standing there kind of watching the door, and he nods at the little halfling who opens the door and ushers you guys inside. You guys go in or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Praedyth
following.
was following.
All right. You guys head into what looks to be a rundown theater. Like, you walk inside, and indeed, what you
Pretty cool.
find is a theater.
Mm-mm.
There's a whole map for it. I love it.
You
think it's
and
cool.
the halfling directs you to it's just, he says, have a seat anywhere. Doesn't matter. It'll be a few moments though. The lights are up a little bit, but there's some basically some lamps over there, and there's several guys. You notice, a few guys down at the base floor watching you guys, and then there's several guys up towards the back of this whole thing watching you guys as well. Your hit points may or may not be right. Don't look. Don't
that's
read.
right.
Don't read anything into it. Is all I'm trying to say.
I'm reading anything into it.
Oh, and I screwed something up. That person wasn't supposed to be there yet. When I made the thing, I forgot to hide her. You guys sit there for a little bit. Anybody doing anything?
I'm twiddling my thumbs.
I want to do
like a. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I want to scout out the exit and doors and any type of.
You're gonna get up and scout it out. Like there's literally people.
No, I'm just using perception roll to see.
Right, cool. That's
from where I'm at, kind of looking. Yeah.
All right. So you kind of looking around. You can see that there's a main hall that goes back to the two doors. So this is not as ramshackle as it looked. Like this looks pristine. The place is ramshackle. Like the seats are broken in many places. There's holes in the floor that you can see down into. The stage looks pretty bad. There's ripped curtain kind of falling down. Some of it's fallen down in the back and things like that. But the other thing that you do notice is that basically in the very center of the stage is a kind of strange, like makeshift throne sitting there. You can make out a couple of men on either side of this door back here. You can notice that you saw the guy. There's a guy outside this door here. This is the door you came in. You can see that there's a couple doors. One stage left, or stage left. Your right, but stage left. One kind of here about halfway up. Nobody next to those doors, and then there's a guy on either side of a door that's at the very corners. That's all stuff you see. Praedyth, you were going to do something?
Yeah, he wants to make a perception check looking for any signs of Aerra.
Okay.
Come on. There. Come on.
Just Praedyth on the perception.
I rolled already. No, I didn't roll. Okay. Thought I rolled.
Are you muted, Dad?
Crap, I'm muted. I don't know how.
Okay.
Oh, because I was coughing. Looking around, you don't see anything with that.
I don't know what I.
Not everybody needs to roll a perception check.
Okay, well that's why I asked, and
I said no, you didn't need to, but I was muted.
Oh yeah, we didn't hear that. Sorry.
Yep.
Same thing with you. You didn't need to make one either, Marcus, because you were just looking for exits, and they're pretty obvious. There's no real need.
They have an exit sign over them.
I don't have an exit sign, but they're pretty obvious because men were standing next to pretty much all of them. No, you don't. For you, Iylis, your perception, like you didn't need to make a perception roll because Praedyth is looking for something specific that you don't notice. You don't see anything that pertains to Aerra. After about 10 minutes or so, you guys looking around, nothing happening or anything like that, the lights all suddenly drop. And after a moment, a single light shines upon the makeshift throne, and there is a woman sitting there. And she, as you might always guess, has image. Now, there is no such thing as a full face mask in Hero Forge, so I did the best I could.
It's so funny.
And it's kind of funny. But it's the best I could do.
She need a shave. She's getting ready to. Let's get the.
No, it's a samurai demon mask. Actually, is what it actually is. Anyway, she looks at it's a full alabaster mask with and Praedyth, you're close enough that you can see there are feathering kind of design around the edge, but it's a woman's face in the mask itself. So again, best I could do with this picture. The woman rises and says, "You wish to see me?" and I am here. What do you want? And her voice does slightly reverberate, not just from being in this theater, which still has some of the acoustics to try to amplify voice in, but also from something else you can't quite place.
Can I do an Arcana check
Sure, if you want.
or perception to try and figure out how if it is magically enhanced voice?
You can do an Arcana check. Perception, I mean, unless you turn on detect magic.
No.
You're not sure. I mean, it's possibly magical, but you're not sure what you might.
Well, I am a servant of fate, and when I see others who are trying to lead a similar path, I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I want to see what mission has she given you?
The woman cocks her, the alabaster mask cocks her head a little bit, and she's like, she seems a little confused, maybe a little perplexed. She's like, "What do you mean, little man?" Give me a wisdom saving throw. Or wait, sorry.
Saving throw?
Yeah, give me a wisdom saving throw.
All right.
You feel somewhat compelled. You don't have to give your life story, but you feel compelled to tell why you're here, basically. Like, explain more of what's going on. Like, what you're interested in.
I'm interested in my compatriot was captured after he was admittedly cheating, but it's neither here nor there. He told me of the mask that you have on now, and I've seen the Mistress of Fate, and she has that's her face that you're wearing. So I want to figure out why you have it on.
This mask I've had since I was a child. And I was attacked by a raven, and it scarred the left side of my face. And she kind of uses a gesture down the side as if to imply this sort of thing. Nothing more, nothing less. I do not know of this Mistress of Fate you speak of.
I do insight.
Yep. Anybody can if you want. You're all listening to the same story.
Yeah, I was going to do insight. I was just waiting.
Praedyth, there's something just odd about her story. Marcus, yeah.
Yeah, no idea.
No idea.
I know exactly what's going on.
Iylis, yeah, her story something just doesn't seem to. It's too rote and too practiced for you. But there's another thing you notice as well. It's very subtle. But every so often, you see the woman glance in the direction of Marcus.
You say a raven attacked you. That is her sacred bird. So I don't know. I necessarily believe you don't know of the Mistress of Fate, Aerra.
I've never heard of this person. Can you tell me more? Iylis, because you're now kind of attuned to it, there's another glance to Marcus. It's very subtle, like very subtle.
I'd like to do perception to see what the guards are doing.
Sure, go ahead. I mean, looking around, they're just standing idly, but yeah,
okay.
They're standing idly. They're not really doing anything. The halfling is sitting on the step of the thing here. He never did get his name, and he never did ask for your money.
No, he did not.
At least not yet, anyway. I mean, if this
I was trying to figure out how to ask him his name without. I figured just tell us no.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a name, but she crosses her legs again, or crosses her legs from one side to the other. And at that point, you kind of notice that she does have a weapon at her hip. You guess maybe a rapier of some sort. And I mean, she is wearing sort of a pauldron on the side, like she is wearing a leather armor or with a little bit of metal in it. So I mean, she's definitely dressed more military, more warrior like than the rest of them are. The rest of them are definitely more leathers and hide and that sort of stuff, studded leather, that sort of stuff. And the rapier is holding pretty well. Marcus, give me another insight check.
Okay.
Jesus, you suck.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, you're too busy looking around, being terrified by the thugs and things in the room to really keep paying attention.
I prefer cautious, not terrified, but whatever.
Let's be honest. No, your paranoia is showing through, and you just
yes, I'm definitely paranoid.
Yeah. Praedyth, you were going to ask something.
Well, I was going to say something. You have obviously been marked by fate. No coincidence that a raven would disfigure you in such a way where you would feel compelled to wear a mask of her face for the rest of your life. What is it that you do?
Well, I lead this band of miscreants and rogues. Marcus, the way she said miscreants and rogues really tickles a
Brings
memory.
back a memory.
Really tickles a memory.
Yeah. I will try to remember. Is it from my childhood?
Yes.
Is it one of my aunt's associates or earlier than that?
Give me an intelligence check.
Yeah, we're gonna do well with this.
You're gonna do well with this. You don't have to get that high.
The way I've been rolling.
Yeah, I know. Well,
see?
Yeah. You just can't quite place it, but you're pretty sure it's older than any of her associates. It's just something about it that rings a bell. And without thinking about it, it just suddenly comes to your lips. You hum the bars of a melody of something.
Okay.
And with that hum, she's sort of speaking to Praedyth and looking at him. Immediately her head turns to yours, to you, as she can hear it. Acoustics and all.
Apologies. The acoustics in the theater. It was just a tune that came to mind.
She seems a little lost for words for a moment before she turns back to Praedyth and she says, "I'm pretty sure I'm not marked by fate. Not any more so than anyone else. Anion, send the men away. We're perfectly safe here." Anion kind of looks at her funny, like, "What are you talking about?" She just says, "Send them away." And he's like, "Guys," kind of circles his fingers like, "Everybody out." They all the guards, all the men that were kind of around head out through doors. Enion stays though. Sure, I hide them all.
Anian, right?
Enyon. Enion.
En. Damn, I'm not close.
No, it's fine. It's name generators give me weird names sometimes. Making sure I got rid of everybody. Once everybody has done that and the doors have all closed, she stands up and she walks to the edge of the thing and she says, "All the gin joints in all the lands," and she pulls off the mask, revealing, because I have this, I have everything set up, revealing this. And Marcus, you're looking into the face of your mother for the first time in 12 years.
Mommy!
I thought it was a sister.
Performance to not make a gasp?
Sure, go ahead.
Or is that deception? Can I do a deception?
Performance to play dead.
Deception's fine. It still escapes. But barely escapes. You got a 10, I guess. I didn't realize that 5 was actually a 10. So you're able to hide most of it. Like maybe only Dresd'a hears it, because she's the closest to you.
Gin joints.
That's the best line I can think of, man.
Yeah. No.
What do you want? And we're gonna
Gin
stop there.
joints are a
We're
good
gonna
place to
stop
meet
there.
people.
We're gonna
Okay.
stop there because it is 10:30, and
Got it.
I was trying to get to this point for a stopping place for tonight.
Da, da,
We
da.
will catch this up again more next week.
Very
when
exciting.
We try to find out why Marcus's mother is the leader of a thieves, rogues, miscreants thing. In
Marcus
claiming
is
to
all
be-
an
She's been
African.
marked by State.
And I'm tall because I would think I'd be a halfling. I'm a half.
She's been
No,
marked by
she's not a
State.
halfling. She's a
Oh, she's just small.
no. She's normal sized. She's like
Oh,
about,
okay. I thought.
she's like about 5'4".
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the halfling is still short. Like
Got it.
She was sitting most of the time.
Oh, misunderstood. But that,
Yeah, no, it's
that
all
makes
good.
no sense.
Yep.
I wondered, but then you said halfling. That's why I didn't think.
No,
I should have gone to get.
She said to talk to that. She told the halfling. To do
Got it,
something,
yeah.
That's what I said. And we'll pick up there next time.